Here's what I love about Dr. Ashley Caravelli and QC Kinetics. They get it. They're not pushing surgery. They're not handing out pills. They're using your body's own healing power to fix what's broken. This is cutting edge. I've talked to people who've been through this. These are real results. No going under the knife, no medication fog, no sitting on the couch recovering, just your body doing what it was designed to do, heal itself. QC Kinetics gives you long-term relief. Make 2026 the year you get back to living without pain. They've got weekend appointments, free consultations, and you can use your HSA or FSA spending accounts. Your first consultation is free, so don't hesitate to call to find out more. Call 312-827-6261. Again, 312-827-6261. One more time, that number is 312-827-6261.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Looking like $8 billion stolen from the American taxpayers by just Somalians. And the reason a Somalian refugee would give a campaign contribution is to bribe and kick back the gains made by policy. That's why Tim Walz, Ileana Omar, Ellison, they're all tied to the $8 billion scam. It's not that complicated. Even a Democrat can figure it out, which is why the Democrats perpetrate it. And there's a DEA head under Obama who got caught stealing for cartels. That's not in the news. It'll be in this news. After News with Patrick Johnson.
Good afternoon. 23 degrees in Chicago. 560 The Answer. I'm Patrick Johnson in the AM 560 newsroom. Sun and cloud mix the rest of today, down to 18 tonight, up to 38 tomorrow. It'll be breezy, and then snow showers return on Wednesday. This comes as the cleanup from Sunday's snowfall in Chicago continues. The precip causing slick conditions and slushy walkways throughout Chicago and northwest Indiana. More than 200 street sanitation trucks were out cleaning the city. Snowy weather caused a ground stop at O'Hare Airport.
It has not been fun at all. It has been very slow, very draining.
A traveler at the airport there. The National Weather Service says 17.1 inches of snow in Chicago over the last few weeks. The fastest start to the city's snowfall since 1978, when over 24 inches fell before December 7th. A standoff between protesters and federal immigration enforcement officers in Elgin Sunday. Tear gas was deployed. This after demonstrators began hurling snowballs towards the vehicles. DHS agents arrested a man and were involved in a car crash. New York's Democrat mayor-elect posting to social media explaining immigrants' rights with the threat of ICE operations heading to the Big Apple. DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin.
The real problem here is the safety risk it leads not just for these migrants themselves, but for our law enforcement.
This reporter service of AlmostFreeTeeth.com. Think full mouth dental implants are too expensive? Think again. Not at AlmostFreeTeeth.com. With medical insurance, you could save thousands to receive your finally affordable dream smile. Check if you qualify today at AlmostFreeTeeth.com. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Access One Business IT Services and Support.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report. Stocks kicking off the new trading week lower with bond yields rising ahead of the Fed's rate cut decision on Wednesday. Most all of the 11 S&P 500 sectors were lower. However, tech advanced, led by chip makers with Broadcom leading the charge. Its stock jumped over 2% after the information reported that Microsoft was in talks of moving its custom chips business to Broadcom. Shares of Warner Brothers Discovery rose over 4% after Paramount Skydance launched a hostile bid for the entertainment company. The move coming just days after Warner Brothers struck an agreement with Netflix. Shares of Paramount Skydance rose 7%. The Dow winners, Goldman Sachs, Boeing, and Microsoft. The Dow decliners, Caterpillar, Amgen, and American Express. The Dow falling 216 points. The Nasdaq lower by 32. S&P 500 down 24. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Mike Gallagher questions the other side of the aisle.
We got Democrats now lining up in support of Luigi Mangione. We got Democrats who are supporting narco-terrorists. We got Democrats who support open borders and are against the enforcement of our immigration laws. I want to get along with Democrats. I don't know how I get along with people who support cold-blooded killers and narco-terrorists.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9 on AM 560. The Answer. Julia owed the IRS thousands.
I was paralyzed with fear.
Then
I heard a commercial for Optima Tax Relief.
Optima Tax Relief is the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and experts in the Fresh Start Initiative.
Optima Tax Relief settled my IRS tax bill.
Call Optima now for a free consultation.
It was amazing.
Call 800-926-0155. 800-926-0155.
Optima Tax Relief.
Visit OptimaTaxRelief.com for details.
This is the time of the year most of us are checking off our holiday gift list. Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on that list. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every single second and alerts you to the threats you could miss yourself. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to work to fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com with the promo code BECK. Terms apply.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-1865. 800-515-1865. 800-515-1865.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On the outbound Edens, no troubles to report. Kennedy outbound side, that is a 40-minute ride downtown to O'Hare. The express lanes going out have a stall in the right lane at Damon. On the Eisenhower, up to 50 minutes. Post office to 390 Stevenson, just under an hour to get to 355. Half hour on the outbound Orion with some types in those express. 35th to the Skyway. And DuSable Lakeshore Drive getting busy now either way. Tri-state delays mainly south at this time, with a crash reported before 95th in the right lane. Jane Addams, Reagan, and 355 not reporting any troubles. This report is the service of Air Ride Heating and Cooling, offering AM 560 listeners $56 off any service, including inspections, or take advantage of limited time federal rebates on a new furnace. Visit Air Ride Heating and Cooling today at AIR-RITE.com. Again, that's AIR-RITE.com. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Tonight will bring mostly cloudy skies with a breeze, and it won't be as cold as previous nights with a low of 17. The temperature will rise into the middle 20s. Tuesday will be mainly cloudy and breezy, but not as cold with a high of 38. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Get top dollar for guns and military items. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
The devil is in the details. There are 340,541,275 known people in this country. Known people, which means we have Social Security numbers, or at least EIN numbers for legal aliens going through the process. So say there's another 50 million illegals. It's just under 400 million people. Do you know how many people actually pay taxes? That they have as taxpayers, people who pay taxes out of their check. That doesn't mean net taxpayers, just people working who pay taxes. 113 million, a third of the known numbers. Out of that third, 80% receive more benefits than they pay. So only 20% of a third are the ones getting robbed by the Somalians and other scum in the country. Sorry, boys, but that's the fact. The illusion of taxes is really something that's amazing because that explains why in the last 15 years, $30 trillion has been created out of air. And that's called our debt. $30 trillion. What that is a guarantee of economic tyranny against everybody honest. Drug dealers and scumbags and lowlifes don't pay taxes. Somalian gangsters, they've got it down to a science of stealing our money, and that's their real job.
Based on what we have found so far, we believe that the Somali fraud operation in Minnesota is the single greatest theft of taxpayer dollars through welfare fraud in American history. We believe that we have only scratched the very top of the surface of how deep this goes. And you're familiar with all the scams with pretending that children have autism who are not in fact autistic, with pretending to enroll people in food programs when in fact nobody was ever enrolled, and engaging in massive fraud, lying, and theft and grift on a scale we've never seen before in American history.
None of which could have happened without active participation of politicians creating and in control of those policies. Every dollar was stolen. The politicians enabled the theft, and they were rewarded for it. That's why they give money back to the politicians.
What exactly are you investigating?
Well, Margaret, to be clear, the initial fraud that was discovered by the IRS, for which I'm the acting commissioner, is discovered by IRS Criminal Investigations Unit. This was not an endogenous thing that the state of Minnesota decided we had to go in and clean up the mess for them, and this is part of the continued cleanup. A lot of money has been transferred from the individuals who committed this fraud, including those who donated to the governor, donated to Representative Omar, and donated to A.G. Ellison. But they've been transferred to something called MBSs. And those are
mortgage-backed security. What do you mean?
Not mortgage-backed security, stupid. And it's not money. It's the monetary wire system that hides outside the purview, in theory, of Scott Besson. However, money is fungible. So where the money goes, you can, in fact, track it to where it ends up. Now, there will be a blind spot in the middle, which is why the Somalians bribed the congresswoman and bribed the AG of Minnesota and bribed the sitting governor, along with who knows how many other countless suck-on politicians. That's called wetting the beak of the scum.
Sorry?
Transferred to what?
These are money the Bureau services, and they are wire transfer organizations that are outside the regulated banking system. And that money has gone overseas, and we are tracking that both to the Middle East and to Somalia to see what the uses of that have been.
Okay, but you have no evidence of that money being used to fuel terrorism at this point, which is what some conservative writers are alleging.
That's why.
We'll see when it enters that system in order to go to Somalia, which is terrorist control, along with many, many other parts of Africa, which, by the way, they're stealing our money too. Let's take, for instance, South Africa. $50 billion annually is stolen by South African government.
The African Development Bank is sounding the alarm. Africa must stop losing $580 billion every year due to corruption and illicit financial flow.
Oh, did I say 50 billion? I stand corrected. Let's hear this gentleman again. Squirrel, get that Why Are You Gay clip ready, will you?
The African Development Bank is sounding the alarm. Africa must stop losing $580 billion every year due to corruption and illicit financial flows if it hopes to manage its growing debt. And as the U.S. pulls back, the continent is seeking new global friends to help drive its growth. The president of the African Development Bank, Akinwumi Adesina, is calling for African governments to address the $580 billion lost annually to corruption and illicit capital flows. The loss
seems to be contagious. Now, South Africa, is near Somalia, but it seems to be an ongoing problem with these third world hellholes that, by the way, still practice slavery today. You don't hear a lot of this, huh? And there's always more. There's the constant bailout, like Somalia, which is bailout, loan forgiveness, one giant fraud. It's not really a country any more than South Africa is really a country. It's a mafia headquarters for moron scumbags.
It's an investigation. We started it last week. We'll see where it goes. But I can tell you that, it's terrible. Representative Omar tried to downplay it, said, it was very, it was very tough to know how this money should be used.
Yeah.
She was gaslighting the American people.
Well, we'll talk to her.
Yeah, but when you come to this country, you got to learn which side of the road to drive on. You got to learn to stop at stop signs, and you got to learn not to defraud the American people.
Well, there are plenty of criminal behavior from communities well beyond the immigrant community.
That's true, dogface, propagandist. And it always seems to be rooted in one specific philosophy, that of the Democrat mafia. Like this DEA high-ranking official appointed under Barack Obama, who likes a manly broad, likes a woman with a big foot, big, broad shoulders. That's what he likes. And everybody that traces to this Obama administration isn't just some crooked judge trying to upend the correction of the Leviathan that has stolen from the future $30 trillion since Barack Obama was late on his car payment. But this scumbag appeared to have been directly working with a cartel.
A shocking federal case has sent ripples through U.S. law enforcement. A former high-ranking DEA agent, once trusted to fight international drug trafficking, now stands accused of helping the very criminals he once swore to stop. Paul Campo, a veteran agent with nearly 25 years in the Drug Enforcement Administration, has been indicted on charges of drug conspiracy, narco-terrorism, and laundering millions of dollars for one of Mexico's most violent cartels, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, also known as CJNG. According to newly unsealed federal documents, Campo, along with his associate Robert Sensi, allegedly agreed to convert cartel drug profits into cryptocurrency, purchase massive shipments of cocaine, and funnel millions through the U.S. and Mexico.
You guys got yourself a business model, huh? Democrat-appointed scum? Democrat-voting scum that you are? This is why they don't want the attention on how much money is stolen from the American people on a regular basis in every Democrat enclave fiefdom, from sea to shining sea.
Total bill, the total tab for this is going to be far beyond the numbers we've already seen reported. We believe the state government is fully complicit in this scheme, and we believe that what we are going to uncover is going to shock the American people. Look, based on the records that we already have, and this is a significant undercount, by the way, 75% of the Somali population in Minnesota is on welfare. But that's likely a significant undercount of just how much of a financial burden the Somali refugee population is imposing.
That's called suck-ons. Good for nothing. And in the meantime, you walk around in your costumes and make everybody pretend that you look anything other than like a circus band out on break for lunch. We're going to talk about assimilation. It's the definition of the opposite of assimilation.
I want to ask you something else that the architect of the president's immigration policy, Stephen Miller, said. On Thanksgiving Day, he posted, "No magic transformation occurs when failed states cross borders. At scale, migrants and their descendants recreate the conditions and terrors of their broken homelands." What do you make of this argument of failure to assimilate and sort of ruining America? How do you understand this?
I mean, when I think about Stephen Miller and his white supremacist rhetoric, it reminds me of the way the Nazis described Jewish people.
They described Jewish people as capitalists and nonconformists because the Jewish people back then, they made money, they had shops, they were in banking. Unlike the Somalians, who are suck-ons. 8 out of 10 suck-ons. So go with the Nazi thing and hope that not a Democrat out there realizes the Nazis were the National Socialist Worker Party. Here's Keith Ellison, who is as crooked as a jaybird, this filthy pig. His son's got the ghost job, pretends to go to school. Keith Ellison himself not only tracks back to tremendous amounts of contributions from Somalian thieves, but as a government official has been riddled in financial scandal since he reared his ugly head.
The lure of extremism, violent extremism, is false. It's a lie, and it's going to end up with you dead or in jail.
So far, you Democrats are the only ones killing anybody, and especially if you have the sexual proclivity of being a trans testicle. Then you're real dangerous.
We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Let them go back to where they came from.
What is your response to that kind of language from the president?
It reminds me of Third Reich type language. It's reminiscent of Nazis talking about poisoning the blood, calling people human garbage.
But you did steal the money. Where's the money, scumbag?
It's true. A Somali fraud ring in Minnesota stole over $1 billion from Medicaid. How did this happen? Well, Medicaid programs are run by the states, which in Minnesota means the Tim Walz administration. Governor Walz and the state's other Democrats rely on Somali votes to get elected, so they decided to look the other way because they were afraid of, quote-unquote, political backlash.
Dr. Oz, it's a little more nefarious than that. They knew the stealing could commence in every one of these Democrat fiefdoms because they had the dimwit in diapers in just the right place. And this son of a dog could lie when he had his marbles. Now that he has dementia, he really believes the lies.
That's what we worked so damn hard to do during my administration. In those 4 years, we created 16 million new jobs. Unemployment dropped to a 50-year low. We lowered the price of everything from health care to cost of college to junk fees and airline tickets and credit cards.
It was utopia! And they added $9 trillion in a splash pot and $10 trillion for COVID that was stolen from a very small percentage of people who are not suck-ons. 312-642-5600.
He will never negotiate his constitutional rights with the government. Live free or die on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Robert Anderson, president of McLaughlin Body Company in the Quad Cities, and a customer of Signature Bank. When our 100-year-old family-owned manufacturing company was looking for a new bank, we found an excellent partner with Signature Bank. Signature Bank understands the challenges with manufacturing in today's highly competitive environment. We recently participated in the New Markets Tax Credit Program, and we're fortunate to have the experts at Signature Bank help us navigate the complexities of this program. With Signature Bank's support, we were able to expand not only our facility, but ultimately our business. If you're looking for a trusted banking partner for your business, look to Chicago's own Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Think your IT systems couldn't get any better? Prove it. Take the Access One $10,000 challenge. For companies with 25 to 500 employees, we'll conduct a free, confidential risk assessment based on NIST or CIS regulations. If your systems and processes are 100% compliant and we can't find a single improvement opportunity based on the regulations, we'll write you a check for $10,000. For over 30 years, Access One has helped Chicagoland businesses strengthen cybersecurity, streamline IT operations, and reduce costs through managed IT and cloud solutions. Ready to take the challenge? Schedule your free confidential risk assessment. Visit accessoneInc.com/challenge or call 800-654-1555. Certain terms and conditions apply. See details online.
AM 560. The Answer.
Mr. Should I call you Mr? Pepe Julian Onzima. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good morning.
Me. Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
The most insulting part, it's all insulting, but to listen to this moron who married her brother and perpetrated immigration fraud, which means she's been a criminal for as long as she's been on these shores. She is a criminal. Give a rip how many moron scumbags she got to vote for. Just take a look at these Democrats. You could see how many stupid people there are in the country.
So this was, just for our audience, the Biden-era Justice Department called it the largest COVID fraud scheme in the country. And this was pocketing COVID-era welfare funds, more than $1 billion in taxpayer money that was stolen. It was pretty shocking. Of the 87 people charged, all but 8 are of Somali descent. And that has added to the spotlight being put specifically on your community.
Well, you had to get a couple of pale faces in there. They're the ones that cut the checks for the government.
Why do you think this fraud was allowed to get so widespread?
Well, I want to say, this also has an impact on Somalis because we are also taxpayers.
8 out of 10 of you are on welfare. So how much do the 2 out of 10 pay in taxes? Are they net winners or are they net suck-ons? And when you factor that in, do not forget the scandal of scandals known as Obamacare. Do not forget the Obamacare scandals. Because in there lies a real scum organization. When you have how many billions were stolen from us in the last, 2 years or a year?
A major hit to Barack Obama's legacy, Obamacare. Congress's watchdog, the GAO, found massive systemic fraud in Obamacare. $21 billion potentially in fraud in just 2023 alone.
$21 billion in 1 year. How many illegal aliens cashed in on that? Let's start with all of them and work down. George, Naperville.
Shaun, he ain't heavy. He's a Somalian.
Play the Why Are You Gay clip for George, will you please, there, Squirrel? John, Garfield Ridge.
Hey, Shaun, thanks for taking my call, brother.
Thank you for making it.
I'm well aware of what California or New York, New Jersey, and Illinois are, Shaun. So I don't conclude this lightly, but Minnesota is making a serious bid to become the moron capital of the country, Shaun. I mean, they really are the land of 10,000 scams.
Well, how could they still can't take over. They can't overtake Illinois. There's no way. Illinois is by far the dumbest. By far.
Oh, yeah,
what do you got? 4 low-life scum counties destroy the quality of life in the entire state? You've got people that have never been to Chicago. 33 counties are paying the taxes, are going to Chicago public schools. And they're paying for all of this nonsense. They don't even want to go near Chicago. 33 counties vote to secede. And yet not one media outlet picks it. These are the real slaves, where 4 crooked counties, Democrat mafia-controlled counties, control the whole state. Minnesota's tight, but I still say Illinois is way out in front. They're a lap ahead. What do you think?
I completely agree. Yeah, nobody's going to overtake Illinois. I just think Minnesota is at least trying to get a spot on the podium or something. Maybe get. And
nobody's going to. Illinois, they released 1,768 scumbags from jail. Murderers, drug addicts, drug dealers, 1,768 since January, and they act shocked. It goes to show you why you have 12 shot this weekend, 2 dead. Who said it? Who said it? It was cold too. You must be hanging the window out of the Chrysler 300, hanging the gun out of the Chrysler 300 window. Thank you, John. Jim and Lyle.
Hey, Shaun. Every time I hear Margaret Brennan interviewing Scott Bessent, it's like what the vice president said last year. Do you hear yourself when she defends? I mean, right away she goes to the position that, it couldn't possibly be Somalian corruption. But that's
do you want to know what Do you want to know why I've always said when they catch or they convict a criminal of thievery or whatever the case is, release his registered voter status? I have always believed if it's not 9 out of 10, it's 9.9 out of 10. Scumbags, thieves, and the wretched of society are registered Democrats. I'll bet you even a sawbuck. What do you say?
I'm with you. Well, the reason why I really called, though, is because in 1972, when Richard Nixon swept the nation, except for Massachusetts and D.C., 18 Republican new U.S. senators were elected. And so was Joe Biden that year. How is that frickin' possible? And he beat an incumbent Republican.
Did you ever go look at the scandal of Joe Biden's first election with the Teamsters that controlled the newspaper and the strike the 2 days before the election? And the fact that
only by two. You've enlightened me on that.
His opponent went crazy, demanded a recount, and they fast-tracked it too because Delaware is another mafia scum-controlled area. It really is.
And he only won by like 5,100 votes or something.
Please. That's why he's been crooked to the labor extortion mafia since the time he could, because he never practiced law. I think he's right out of law school. He wins that. I mean, when you look at this idiot here,
we hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
And these morons could have voted for him another 1,000 times. You put a stick in this guy's derriere, they'll elect him 6 weeks after he's dead. Thank you very much. 312-642-5600.
They're stupid.
Call Shaun now. 312-642-5600.
Is your tech a train wreck? Slow computers in the office. Printers won't connect. Clueless support team only asks, have you tried clearing your cache? Your business deserves better than generic fixes. At Unique Computing Solutions, we cut through the chaos fast. Reliable support, real solutions from a team that actually understands your business. Get a free assessment today at uniquecomputingsolutions.com. That's uniquecomputingsolutions.com. Your IT challenges solved.
Hey, sorry to hear your mom passed away.
Thanks.
A lot of work to do settling her assets?
Actually, she prepared a living trust. Makes this process simple.
Yeah, I set up a will for my kids. Should make it easy.
Well, unless your assets are small, your kids will have to go to court to settle your will.
So, where do I get a living trust?
Nauman & Associates. They prepare wills and trusts for a flat fee. No surprises.
Nauman & Associates in Elk Grove Village?
That's right. NALawGroup.com. Call 847-593-8777.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say micro, offer ends 12/14. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Once again, we love to partner with Food for the Poor this time of season, and I'm looking at the contributions, and I have to thank each and every one of you. It's fantastic that you take the time to do this during my show, after the show. We truly appreciate it. And what Food for the Poor has been able to do is bring hope to the decent people who have been affected by the crooked governments that deliver no quality of life, none. When you look at these third worlds, Central and South America, throughout the Bahamas even, when you look at Haiti, not to mention the other 14 countries, it's over 43 years in 17 different countries around the world, Food for the Poor has fed tens, if not hundreds of millions of people, all with private contributions as a faith-based organization. And they have an infrastructure that delivers quality food that they actually manufacture and make and grow, harvest. And that's the beauty of Food for the Poor. And that's why for $150, they feed and give water to 2 children for an entire year. And some of the best contributions, don't get me wrong, I love the big ones, but when you see the people come in and they send $20, they know that out of that $20, every 94% of that is going to go directly to food for these children. Call 844-862-4673 or visit 560theanswer.com/food for the poor for any donation. Every dollar helps. It's not about reaching a goal because we want to reach a goal. It's about reaching a goal so we can feed these decent people who are trapped in indecent areas. And if you own a business or you make the decisions for a business, $2,500 tax deductible donation, which is absolutely a triple Lynn Windy for me. I mean, it is absolutely perfect. It's the trifecta of giving. The $2,500 you don't pay taxes on. $2,500 goes to feed 32 kids in these areas. And we here at AM 560 give you 41-minute commercials to air right here at the most important time of the day, 5 in the morning till 8 in the evening. You get to talk to the boss of bosses, John Gallagher. He can be reached 847-472-8950. That number again, 847-472-8950. And when you see the results, you're going to see how many of those guys that start out taking advantage of this turn into people you hear on a constant basis, because the results are these are the best listeners in all of talk radio. That's the best time of day to expose your business to them. Some of the businesses are DC Export Group, Humane Indiana, DSP Insurance, MS Consulting, South Suburban Humane Society, Applied Mechanical, Nature's Believe It or Not by Jeff Tischler, Chris Jacobs' team of Century 21 Circle, who I've dealt with, a wonderful, wonderful guy. Brusher Machining, Secure Controls, Gatto Plating, IDSupply.com, Nexus Employment, American First Contracting, just to name a few of our sponsors. They'll be growing. But for all information, go to 560theanswer.com. When we get back, I'm going to take your calls. 312-642-5600. That'll be after Patrick Johnson.
Thanks, Shaun, and good afternoon. 22 degrees in Chicago in the AM 560 newsroom on AM 560, The Answer. A woman is dead after a car crash involving a car and a semi-truck on the northwest side. The collision happened early this morning, 3800 block of West Diversity in the Logan Square neighborhood. Cops say the driver of the car lost control and struck a parked vehicle and then veered across the road, hit the rear of the semi. 26-year-old hospitalized Sunday after two men robbed him in an alley near East 79th Street and opened fire. Police say one of the offenders pulled a gun and shot him in the left thigh before both ran off. The victim took himself to Jackson Park Hospital, listed in good condition. No arrests have been announced. A man seeking justice for his son killed over the summer during a hit-and-run incident in the city's Gage Park neighborhood. Jermaine Martin Jr. was struck and killed by an SUV August 9th. The victim's father saw video footage of the crime and is pleading for the driver to turn themselves in.
To the people who did, if y'all out here, just turn y'allself in, man. You know, that it wasn't right. Y'all took my whole son. Y'all took a brother. Y'all took a nephew.
Cook County Crime Stoppers offering a $1,000 reward for information linked to the arrest and conviction of a suspect. This report is service of AlmostFreeTeeth.com. Think full-mouth dental implants are too expensive? Think again. Not at AlmostFreeTeeth.com. With medical insurance, you could save thousands and receive your finally affordable Dream Smile. Check if you qualify today at AlmostFreeTeeth.com. The next news update coming your way at 5 o'clock. Continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. On AM 560 from the AM 560 Traffic Center. The check of the roads. Here's Jill Lujan.
There are no problems to report on the outbound Edens. The inbound trip is a half hour. Lake Cook Road to Montrose. Kennedy going out 40 minutes. Janeburn Interchange to O'Hare. The express lanes slowing down right near Damon with the stall in the right lane. Outbound Eisenhower 1 hour and 10. Post Office to 390 Stevenson. Watch out because there is a crash reported inbound at Pulaski. 1 hour and 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Going out on the Stevenson, hour and 15 with a crash reported at First Avenue. Dan Ryan, 38 minutes downtown to 95th Street Express. Stop and go 35th to Chicago. Skyway looks good. I-57 is clear in outbound side, crash at 159th off to the shoulder. DuSable Lakeshore Drive is heavy either way. Tri-State an accident going south before 95th in the right lane. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Tonight will be mostly cloudy with a breeze, and temperatures won't be as cold as before with a low of 17. However, the temperature will rise into the middle 20s. Moving into Tuesday, expect mainly cloudy skies with a breeze persisting in milder conditions compared to before with a high of 38. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you that they are making it through.
They want to thank you for your continued support by passing on some Christmas specials to our listeners. Get the Children's Bible Story Pillow 5-pack for $29.98. My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98. Blankets, comforters, and duvets for as low as $25, and a blowout sale on the standard My Pillows for just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including the standard size My Pillow, originally $49.98, now only $14.98. Queens $18.99. Kings only $1 more. 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. We know My Pillow products come with a 10-year warranty, but My Pillow has just announced that they are extending their 60-day money-back guarantee. That's right. Orders placed between now and December 25th will have their 60-day money-back guarantee extended through March 1st, 2026. Promo code LIBERTY.
Honey, what's for dinner?
Honestly, nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
Because every time I need a pan, I have to unload half the kitchen first.
It's like Jenga, but with casserole dishes.
Exactly. And I always lose.
At Forever Remodeling, we create kitchens that fit your life, not the other way around. From smart storage to stunning finishes, start cooking in a kitchen built just for you. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4, everremodeling.com.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. It's your last chance to get exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 35% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
It's the perfect crime. Steal from taxpayers. There's hardly any. Who's going to get mad?
I want to pick up on where the Treasury Secretary just left off. He alleged that people who were tied to you or your campaign were involved in this broad, brazen scheme to rip off the Minnesota state welfare system. Do you want to respond to that? Do you know what he is referring to?
I really don't, and I don't think the Secretary himself understands what he's referring to. We obviously...
First of all, honey, in 8th grade, he knew more about money and finance than you'll ever know. Anybody in your thieving, rat, pirate-infested country will ever know. So show a little respect, you with the turban and the foreskin on it, will you?
Had people who were able to donate to our campaign that were involved.
You know what her net worth is, Squirrel? Before she was a bust out. She had no money. Her net worth now is between, I like when they do this, it's between $6 million and $30 million. Ooh, that seems like a nice range. How'd you make the money there, you with the turban on your head? You're not dancing. You're not cutting any Kelly movies in the 1930s. How'd you make the money, dizzy bimbo?
We sent that money back a couple years ago. And actually, I was one of the first members of Congress to send a letter to the Secretary of Ag asking them to look into what I thought was a reprehensible fraud that was occurring within the program.
Yeah, you probably got yourself a mansion in Somalia in the good neighborhood, the one block. Derek, Gurney Mills.
Hey, I think you've been a little too hard on her. I mean,
you're out there busting your ass paying taxes, and you're not as mad as me?
Oh, yeah, I'm mad about all these grifters in political arenas.
Oh,
but she's fine. I mean, she looked good. I mean,
that's because she's got the turban on. She takes that turban off. What are you going to do if she's bald? Like Woodrow from Sanford & Son. What are you going to do if she's got the Woodrow from Sanford & Son?
I'm going to turn the lights off. That's what I'm going to do if she's bald.
You mean turn them off?
No, what I want to say, though, on the serious tip, though, is all Somalis aren't banned.
No, of course not.
All Somalis aren't banned, so we can't make a blanket statement that they all so much.
So let me ask you a question, because you've lived a few years. When a neighborhood or a crew of guys, might have some good guys in it, when it's got a scam going on, when it's got a thievery system like this, you're talking about a scam where 8 out of 10 are on welfare alone. Now, you could argue that that's a scam, and I will argue that. And then you factor in this splashing the pot. You're talking $8 billion was stolen. That's 8,000 million. You're talking big money. And the two good in the neighborhood out of the 10, can they even say anything? Who are they going to go tell? It's now like a communist country where you go to the government and they're the ones protecting them. So it's like the south side of Chicago all over again. So, right? So I understand, but you know what kind of 2 out of 10 I am? I'll flip the table over in the social club. I don't have any. The problem is the 8 hide behind the virtue of the 2, and that bothers me, Derek.
Right. Now, you said she's worth between 6 and 30 million?
How'd that happen, Derek? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to know how that happened.
You could Google it yourself. You could go to Open Secrets. She had nothing. Her father was, by the way.
No, I've been following. I'm a lot older than all of y'all, so I know her progression and all of that.
Well,
I know she came from all that stuff. But,
how about the father was the colonel in the army that was killing his own people, the reason they're all refugees? I think that's outrageous.
That should have been brought to the forefront before she even got elected in the first place.
It reminds me of what ruined our once great area. What ruined our once great area is people turned a blind eye to crime that didn't affect them directly. She's been a scam artist since she got to this country. Married the brother for the phony citizenship. Next thing you know, she's a congresswoman. The FBI doesn't prosecute. So now you've got the protection of the corrupt government in our neighborhood. We've got to fight for something before our whole country's like Somalia, and I don't want to see that. That's why you can't live in my opinion, that's why Chicago's a hellhole. You can't live there. Once the government's corrupted, it's over with. Who do you go to report the crime?
You got a point, buddy.
All right, Derek. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And the idea that we're talking the kind of money, it's billions and billions and billions. If everybody didn't get a taste, somebody should be mad. If you're a Somalian in Minnesota and you didn't get your beak wet, you should be the one that's mad with this kind of money.
Don't take my word for it. That's what a Somali-American fraud investigator told the New York Times. When these scammers realized that nobody was guarding the cash register, they went gangbusters. One program designed to provide housing stabilization assistance to patients ballooned to $104 million.
Now, could you imagine, let's say you're a Somalian, and you're a decent person, and you've got a kid that has problems. And in the problems of your kid, these filthy bastards stole this money. I'd pull a Buford T. Pusser on every one of these scumbags.
Years ago, it was projected to cost only $2.6 million. Some of these taxpayer funds may have even ended up in the hands of a Somalian terrorist group. Scary stuff. When CMS became aware of the housing program situation, Minnesota insisted it could clean up its own mess. A few months...
Wrong! Just like Dalton, just like everywhere the Democrats are in charge of watching other Democrats. It's just a matter of time before more get cut in. Dominic, Glendale Heights.
Yeah, new name for the Democrat Party. The grifters. That's what they are. They're grifters. They rob and steal and do it all to us.
Dom, I'm gonna take a little bit of something that you and I talked about a while ago when I first started the show, and you first called. It is not a political party. It is not a political. It is a confession. You're either in on it, or you're too stupid to see it, or you want to be in on it. That's it. That's what it is to me.
The state of Illinois Republicans are in on it because they never get nothing done for us. And,
they do get control of the video poker machines and the pot dispensaries, though.
And I think Pam Bondi's a little weak. She needs to step up her game here and start putting some of these people in the jails. I mean,
it's a funny way our law is set up. When it is to prosecute a connected person, the law is very, very, very slow. So I don't really blame her. And I'm going to tell you, down here in Florida, she had an incredible reputation for getting stuff done, and I think she does. You got to understand, the FBI protected Ileana Omar. The FBI sat on the laptop for Joe Biden. The FBI sat on Hunter Biden. I mean, come on. Who are you going to turn to? This is the problem. The government is corrupted. That's the problem. And now look at what Pritzker's doing.
A report now on sanctuary policies in the state of Illinois. Immigration and Customs Enforcement saying that Governor Pritzker is overseeing the release of more than 1,700 dangerous criminal illegal aliens since the 20th of January.
So he let out his army of scum to intimidate, beat, rape, rob, and murder the decent people who his government is supposed to protect. It's the perfect system of corruption. They can hide in their own massive failure. 312-642-5600.
What if everything you've been told about government, healthcare, poverty, energy, and even science is a carefully constructed lie? In Shaun Thompson's new book, What If It's All a Lie? Shaun Thompson dismantles the myths at the core of modern America. This is the book the ruling class doesn't want you to read. And once you do, you won't see the world the same way again. Order your copy today at ShaunThompsonShow.com/book.
The Christmas season is the most wonderful time of the year. But for Chicago's police, fire, and EMS, it can be challenging. Long nights on the beat and daily reminders of lost colleagues and friends can weigh heavily on the mind. R.J. Ullman Company, a commercial HVAC contractor 50 years invested in the building up of the city of Chicago, has partnered with the Well Resource Center, a local nonprofit organization on a mission to build up the health and well-being of our sometimes forgotten first responders and their families. Mental health is mental wealth. The Well offers enriching and meaningful weekly events for men and women. We encourage both the city's first responders and donors to visit the Well Resource Center online at thewellrc.org for more information, or simply drop by the club, 6160 West Higgins in the 16th District. No appointment is needed. Merry Christmas from your friends at R.J. Ullman Company and The Well.
This is Shaun Thompson here to tell you about an opportunity for you to promote your business and make a difference this Christmas season. I'm talking about our Food for the Poor Business Benefactor Program. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide life-saving food and water for thousands of children and their families over the years. Your business can be a part of this effort. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. That donation will help more than 30 kids for the entire year. And when you do that, AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air right here, Monday through Friday, from 5 in the morning till 8 in the evening, prime time. And all you have to do to take advantage of this deal is call one of the best guys there is at the company, John Gallagher. You can reach him at 847-472-8950. Once again, that's 847-472-8950. 847-472-8950, or go to 560theanswer.com/food for the poor.
Adult Beverage Solutions is looking for a brand ambassador in all areas for beverage sampling events. You have the ability to create your own schedule because most events take place Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays at local grocery stores and independent liquor stores. Flexible scheduling with the ability to choose events that you would like to work. Receive event pay weekly. State alcohol certification is mandatory for all ambassadors. Must be 21 years of age. Competitive pay with the opportunity to earn bonus for exceptional performance. Each event you will provide consumers with product education while collecting consumer feedback. If you are interested, our team would like to connect with you about this opportunity. Please email us at careers.abstastings@gmail.com with your information and where you are located, and our team will be in touch soon. Or check us out online at adultbeveragesolutions.com/join-now. That's adultbeveragesolutions.com/join-now.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say micro, offer ends 12/14. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
The Uncle Woodrow. Poor guy. He had to sleep with Aunt Esther. Speaking of Aunt Esther, I got a clip, and the wig is still crooked. Don't you have somebody to help you with the wig there, Maxine?
The President of the United States is a killer. I am outraged at the way that, on his own, without any consultation, he does.
And after she became Congress birthing person on the finance committee, her husband all of a sudden had a bank. His bank was the first check of the bailout. You think you'd have yourself a better wig. Richard on the south side.
Hey, Shawnee, how you doing, buddy?
Good, brother.
Hey, listen, Saturday night went out to a basketball game with some friends at DePaul, Wintrust Arena. Fantastic place to watch the game. Sure. Went out to dinner, drinks a little bit beforehand across the street. I won't name the place, but it was fabulous. Oh my God, to watch the Indiana-Ohio State game. The TV was as big as the room, Shawnee.
Nice.
Big as the room.
Sounds nice.
You're talking. There were a good 14. We were sitting right as soon as you come in the door, so the acoustics were fantastic. There were probably 14 other tables. You're talking about 45 to 60 people, Shawnee.
Wow.
Fucking here comes. Boom! They start the national anthem. The national anthem. You get chills. Everything. Sure. I admit I stood up, but I didn't stand up for 10 seconds and whatever. Shawnee, I swear to God, every one of these freaking tables were still involved in whatever they were doing, eating, talking, looking at each other. Again, maybe you're not there to see the football game, but it was the national anthem. I started a little clap at the end. There was nobody else in there even paying attention. And just to say, how many people are paying attention to what's going on in our country?
Well, there lies the problem, brother. And in there lies the problem. And that's why I started. I wanted the people to have an understanding of who makes this country go around. It's not everybody. It's a very small percentage of us that go to work, that pay our taxes, that follow the rules. Really, it is. And that's why it's the perfect graft. Because since Barack Obama set up the debt system for his Obamacare, they could hide a tremendous amount of spending in that. So you're not feeling it instantaneously because a small percentage even pay taxes. So you're stealing literally from unborn Americans or would-be Americans. You're intentionally collapsing the economic system. That is what turned our government and our financial institutions into a Ponzi scheme. You're talking $30 trillion in 15 years. And I'm the only one. You're the only one. A couple of guys that listen to the show are aware of what that's doing.
Yep.
Yeah. So until they get the tab and it's $6,500 per person, then the morons won't care. And when it does, it doesn't matter because we followed the rules the whole way. This is why, Richard. I'm more proud of the handful of guys that stood up than I am shocked at the simpletons in Chicago that sat on their ass. They're probably the Democrats. They identify themselves, Richard. Thank you very much for the story. I used to go to a tavern a friend of mine owned called Madison's years ago on that, right across the street from there. It was fantastic. I never went to that Ronix, but I do like that guy. Glenn in Orlando.
Hey, Shaun, I remember when I was working, I used to fly into Minneapolis, St. Paul a lot, and there was always this huge group of Somali taxi cab drivers congregating in one area of the airport. I never forgot it. And
at least they were working.
It always dawned on me, I wonder if they got legal driver's license to do all this and went through all the licensing process to drive a taxi cab.
Well,
I wonder.
That's why temporary protected status. We did the expose. Remember in Missouri, I think the town was, where the Venezuelans. Was it the Venezuelans or the Haitians? The Haitians were driving. They were crashing into the car, and nobody could figure out. When you're a temporary protected status, when you have that, it's like you. You can go in and get welfare. You can get your Social Security. You can get your driver's license. It's virtually a mirror image of being a citizen. That's why people have to understand when we talk about citizenship, there are, I say it all the time, 8 pathways and a tremendous amount of different ways within those 8 to become legal. In their defense, they're legal. They got it. So I argue that there should never be something as temporary protected status because you're giving driver's license to people who were on a burro last Thursday. It ain't right. Ain't right. And the chaos and we just all pay it, right? The uptick in insurance. Whatever happened to that story? Remember the Haitians? They're smashing into people in the whole 9 yards. Never, ever heard about again. So this is something where people have to be. Well, sure, it has to come down here. But people want to have it happen. And that's the problem, right? That's the problem of the story we just heard. Only a third, again, not even. Who knows how many understand what this country is about and are proud of it. That's our problem. Sabotage from within. That's why nobody's really concerned about this Ileana Omar who doesn't pay taxes. What the hell would you care? If you're not paying taxes, you almost say, "Attaboy," like Obamacare. Everybody knew what it was. Now you're shocked?
A major hit to Barack Obama's legacy, Obamacare. Congress's watchdog, the GAO, found massive systemic fraud in Obamacare. $21 billion potentially in fraud in just 2023 alone.
1 year! $21 billion that the country doesn't have. That's the other thing. A bunch of bust-outs pretending we got money. Scott, Willowbrook.
Shaun, even to you.
What happened?
Shaun, I just said good evening to start out. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so, I listened to Ilhan Omar on the news, talking about, this money up in Minnesota and how, we started the programs and we rushed it so much that all these people were able to, grab this money. We didn't see it. Let me tell you, when I was furloughed during COVID, I didn't get to touch any of that money. I got none of that government money until damn near kissing September. They combed me over. They made me go get a brand new Social Security card. I had to update my driver's license and stuff like that. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff they made me crawl through. And you got these people up in Minnesota getting all this free money. You know that they weren't even citizens. It's very aggravating.
No, it is aggravating, but they operated under temporary protected status. You have to understand the refugee program, and that combined is what counts for this population in Minnesota. But that being said, should it exist when citizens are on the sideline getting nothing? And the answer is no. I'm sorry, Scott. I'm against the clock. We'll be back.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Ed Morrissey of HotAir.com for Town Hall. The problem with socialism, Margaret Thatcher famously observed, is that you eventually run out of other people's money. New data shows that France is on the verge of exhausting this resource, but the U.S. is not far behind. This week, Michael Arroway published what he calls probably the scariest chart you'll see today, showing that only 1/3 of France's population works in the private sector. How are they supposed to feed the remaining 2/3 with their taxes, Arroway wondered. Well, might we wonder too. The most recent data in the U.S. shows that only 40% of the population works in the private sector. 7% work for the government. More than half of the population does not work at all. In fact, the percentage of American adults classified as not in the labor force by retirement, disability, or other reasons comes to 37.6%, slightly higher than France. Arroway highlights the unsustainability of France's social state as workers dwindle. We need to start talking about that unsustainability in the U.S. as well.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are high interest payments becoming too much to bear? Luckily, there's a way for consumers struggling with over $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans to significantly reduce the amount they owe if they qualify. Qualifying for this debt relief program, which the credit card companies prefer to keep secret, will only require you to pay back a fraction of what you owe with one affordable monthly payment. You don't have to file bankruptcy or need a debt consolidation loan. Consumers can now take advantage of this financial debt relief during the current economic downturn and rising inflation. If you owe $10,000 or even $500,000 in credit card debt or personal loans, call the Debt Relief Advocates Helpline now for this free information and to see if you qualify. Call 800-524-8986. 800-524-8986. Again, that's 800-524-8986.
Hey, you want to give the gift they'll actually use this holiday? Peace of mind? Give the people in your life something that will protect them. Go to BYRNA.com today. They are the world leader in less lethal personal defense. It's compact, it's concealable, it's powerful. The newest burner, compact, fits in a pocket, a purse, while delivering real stopping power for up to 60 feet away. I carry one every day. I recommend every family have a burner. Every person have one. Now, it fires potent kinetic and aerosol rounds that can stop any attacker in their tracks for up to 40 minutes. It's legal in all 50 states. You don't need a background check. It ships right to your door. Burner gives both the gift giver and the recipient peace of mind, not just for the holidays, but all year round and for many years to come. Protect your loved ones. Safety is priceless. Visit BYRNA.com today and find the right launcher for you and your family. That's BYRNA.com.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
The only answer to our problems is growth. It's the old economic saying. The one thing we know is that we do not know. But what we need is absolute and total growth. Growth that we may be unaware of, which is why I love to talk to my next guest. He is the author of Some Future Day, How AI is Going to Change Everything. People get nervous. Don't be afraid. There were people that were nervous of electricity. This could be the answer to everything, including our national debt. He is a Renaissance man, author of books. He's an orator. He has been a successful businessman for 35 years. Mark Beckman will join us after News with Patrick Johnson.
Thanks, Shaun. It is 21 in Chicago in the AM 560 newsroom on AM 560, The Answer. Social media video showing protesters in Elgin, located in the metro area, in a standoff with federal immigration enforcement officers who deployed tear gas when the demonstrators began throwing snowballs at their vehicles. DHS agents arrested a man and were involved in a car crash. Jury selection scheduled to start today in the federal trial involving the shooting of a man by Chicago police at a CTA train station in 2020. Jurors will determine if officers violated Ariel Roman's civil rights when they shot him twice at a Red Line station. Officer Melvina Bogard was charged with aggravated battery and official misconduct in the incident. She later was acquitted of all charges in a bench trial in 2022. Bogard and her partners say they were trying to arrest Roman for walking between train cars when he resisted them. Roman was charged with resisting arrest. Those charges were later dropped. He filed a lawsuit against the city and the officers for excessive force. Police officer avoided serious injury early Sunday after a bullet struck his protective vest during a disturbance call in Morgan Park. Officers arrived to break up a fight when a gun went off, hitting an 18-year-old man and the officer before another officer returned fire, wounding the 35-year-old offender. This reporter service of Air Ride Heating and Cooling, offering AM 560 listeners $56 off any service, including inspections, or taking advantage of a limited time federal rebate on a new furnace. Visit Air Ride Heating and Cooling today at AIR-RITE.com. Again, that is AIR-RITE.com. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks falling and bond yields rising as investors are cautious ahead of the Fed's rate cut decision on Wednesday afternoon. A tame inflation reading on Friday reinforcing expectations that the Fed will slash interest rates, with investors seeing around a 90% chance that the central bank will lower the benchmark rate by a 0.25 percentage point. The Dow down 216 points, the Nasdaq lower by 32, S&P 500 down 24. Paramount's Skydance is going hostile in its pursuit of Warner Brothers Discovery days after Netflix struck a $72 billion deal for Warner's streaming and studios businesses. Shares of both Warner Brothers and Paramount rallied on the news, while Netflix stock fell. Paramount, run by David Ellison, argues that its offer for all of Warner is a better deal for shareholders and more likely to pass regulatory approval. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Would you like to have your mortgage or rent paid for all of 2026? That sounds like a Christmas miracle, doesn't it?
This is what Christmas is all about.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what AM 560 The Answer wants to do for you. Go to 560theanswer.com/miracle to enter our Christmas Mortgage Miracle Contest. Enter once per day, every day, between now and December 20th. You can have your rent or mortgage paid for all of next year.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Nice. Go to 560theanswer.com/miracle.
Julia owed the IRS thousands.
I was paralyzed with fear.
Then
I heard a commercial for Optima Tax Relief.
Optima Tax Relief is the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and experts in the Fresh Start Initiative.
Optima Tax Relief settled my IRS tax bill.
Call Optima now for a free consultation.
It was amazing.
Call 800-926-0155. 800-926-0155.
Optima Tax Relief.
Visit OptimaTaxRelief.com for details.
This is the time of the year most of us are checking off our holiday gift list. Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on that list. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every single second and alerts you to the threats you could miss yourself. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to work to fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com with the promo code BECK. Terms apply.
We have reached the age where things just cost more.
Cars, phones, life insurance.
Your blood pressure is up.
Your weight is up.
You're one to talk.
I have type 2 diabetes, so I'm getting dinged just like you.
Thank goodness for Big Lou.
Big Lou!
Lou.
Big Lou can get term life insurance rates for a 50-year-old male with type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, or maybe he's on anxiety meds for just around $200 a month for $1 million of coverage.
Oh, you got to say that again.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll say it. Big Lou and Term Provider could get a 50-year-old man, a little dinged up, $1 million in life insurance for around $200 a month.
Call Big Lou.
Big Lou.
He's like you.
800-555-2085. That's 800-555-2085.
Don't put it off. If you're overweight, diabetic, have high blood pressure, you gotta call Big Lou.
Gotta.
800-555-2085.
Write it down.
800-555-2085.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On the Edens going out, no reported problems. Kennedy up to 50 minutes. Jameburn Interchange to O'Hare. Eisenhower 1 hour and 5. Post Office to 390. Stevenson outbound, that's an hour due Saba Lakeshore Drive to the Veterans Memorial with an accident at Kedzie. Outbound Ryan 40 minutes. Express tight 35th to Chicago. Stall outbound Ford at 115th, slowing into that and do Saba Lakeshore Drive now. Jammed either way. Tri-State heavy on the southbound trip. North not too bad. Jane Addams looks good either way, but delays are starting to crawl along the Reagan and the Veterans Memorial in both directions for both of those. This report is a service of AlmostFreeTeeth.com. Think full mouth dental implants are too expensive? Think again, not at AlmostFreeTeeth.com. With medical insurance, you could save thousands and receive your finally affordable dream smile. Check if you qualify today at AlmostFreeTeeth.com. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Tonight will bring mostly cloudy skies with a breeze, and it won't be as cold as previous nights with a low of 17. The temperature will rise into the middle 20s. Tuesday will be mainly cloudy and breezy, but not as cold with a high of 38. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Get top dollar for guns and military items. DonleyAuctions.com.
I love America. I love the Constitution. I love the First Amendment. I want to carry and all else. I love property. And let me tell you something. If you care about your country, read Ludwig von Mises and the 6 lessons of the Austrian Economic School, motherfuckers.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white,
Look at the luxuries and the convenience and the advancement of your life over your grandfather, let alone 100 years ago. Yet there are still people who, rather than embrace progress, they're afraid of it. Do not be afraid of it. If you're going to solve the problems of this country, in particular the economic problems, you're going to need massive growth, new growth, different industries, different technologies, and you can shore up some of the old ones, but you need to progress, true progress. That's why I love to talk to my next guest. He's a Renaissance man. He's not somebody who's just the CEO of an award-winning advertising agency, of which he is, DMA United. He's an award-winning author, some of the bestsellers that deal with some of the most important topics. NTFs, digital artwork, blockchain technologies. He's a senior fellow of emerging technologies and an adjunct professor in luxury marketing at New York University Stern School of Business, co-chair of the New York State Bar Association's Task Force on Cryptocurrency and Digital Assets. He's developing legal policies and best practices for crypto and digital assets. He is a Renaissance man and author of the book, Some Future Day, How AI is Going to Change Everything. It is out now. He is Mark Beckman. How are you, handsome?
I'm doing great, Shaun. How are you?
Very good. And what I love about this conversation that you and I have is that it's not negative. It's not about Skynet taking over the quality of life and enslaving us. I could argue 8 Ways to Tuesday Democrats and moron Republicans have already done that through the destruction of the American economy and the national debt, and I'm dead serious about it. They have constructed a way to handcuff every decent American into economic slavery. And the idea we're the walking dead. If you're good at making money and you factor in sales tax and the rest of it, you're lucky if you keep 30% of your money. So if we're going to solve this problem, I'm done relying on bribable, fallible morons called politicians. 534 of these scallywags have added $30 trillion to the debt in 15 years. I'm done with each and every one of them. Did I stifle you with my brilliance?
No, I will tell you right now, I am a firm believer that big government loaded with people who are not experts is hurting our society. Moreover, not a pure democracy as it relates to our fundamental setup. And additionally, I know we're a republic. I know you're going to say that, but there are so many restrictions starting on the commercial side. You know, this is not a free marketplace. It's not capitalism. It does blend too much with governmental. When the government pushes a little bit too far, it hurts us. And if we had free enterprise, and I think this is where you're going, and I feel strongly about it, if we had true capitalism, if we had true free enterprise, I think America would be crushing everybody across the planet. We wouldn't need President Trump to be working so hard to create these advantageous situations for us on the commercial side. I think American ingenuity and entrepreneurship would lead the world just naturally, and we create a lot more profit for each person who's listening to this show tonight. I think that's just natural. But we're not living in a pure democracy, and we're not living in a pure capitalistic marketplace.
No, we are at the point of serfdom that Hayek warned us of. And the reason is because we forgot what made us the youngest country. The youngest country. We are the youngest. The highest quality of life for everybody. And the richest for a very simple reason. We're based in propertyism. It's called capitalism, but it's really propertyism over your own life and the assets you can acquire and your mind and your thought. However, we've let this idea of the Communist Manifesto creep in a progressive tax system, which has done its job, coupled with all of these policies that for years people who could read and think have warned of, whether we're talking about Medicare, Social Security, or Obamacare, which is the most obvious and the fastest corruptive failure this country's ever seen, and I think responsible for, if not 60, 80% of the national debt. And a machine would have never done it. A machine would have never done Obamacare. If they would have had a machine, artificial intelligence, anybody, put in the data of what they were selling, that line of bulldung of yes, we can, hope and change bulldung from that moron from Chicago who couldn't make his car payment to where we are today, it would have not allowed it. And that's why I'm done with buyable, bribable, pliable scum in the form of mankind. What do you think?
I laugh because, I'm here in New York City. I think you're in Chicago. And we have, I guess you and I have a very rare position because we think more conservatively. So I'm laughing because now I have a lot of my staff. You mentioned my advertising agency. A lot of my staff who are big liberals, big Obama supporters. They're complaining to me now, Shaun, that their health care isn't good enough. Their health care policy doesn't work. And I'm like, but this is what you wanted. This is Obamacare. You got exactly what you asked for. But it's not good enough. We don't want that. It's not good enough. Look, the bottom line is this. We have all of these quote-unquote experts in our government, people like AOC and Schumer and, all of these crackpots that are coming in and pretending to know everything that they should about the automotive sector, the energy sector, and now all of these great emerging technologies from AI to crypto and beyond. The reality is they haven't done anything in their lives to justify them taking these business sectors and running with them. And it's just going to hurt us over and over and over again. And that's just the bottom line. That's just a fact. And your point with regards to data analytics and machine learning, look, there are times where machines do better than humans, period. There's empirical science that's needed. We see that in the military. We see it in defense. And I'm sure that it would be applicable in the way you described as it relates to healthcare. There's no doubt about it.
Well, the other fascinating reality is anybody can sell this utopian bulldog. It's always the most unqualified, whether it's the imbecile Barack Obama who likes a woman with a big foot, or it's that idiot who just guaranteed the destruction of New York, the 33-year-old living with his mother. It's insane. Yeah. It's insane. Terrible. But the problem is, and this comes into your specialty, I don't know how or why the property over one's life and one's money lost the popularity that this country had, that people went and fought true socialists in Germany for, or how we lost the confidence to argue against the ridiculous nature that I will pay somebody who will hate me, will rob me, will rape my kids. I don't want this idea of socialism, because you know who gets the benefits of taking money from the people who make it? Scumbags. And that's just the fact of the matter. And we lost the ability to make this argument. Now, here in Chicago, they release the criminals from the prison. The government protects the predators. It protects the criminal. And that is the deal is off. So I don't live in Chicago anymore. I left. And I don't live there because they guaranteed feudalism. They guaranteed overtaxation, the destruction of my real estate. They guaranteed the destruction of my dollar, which is why I'm amazed at how the kids and the people who came up with alternatives to the dollar, it's being ignored. And I want to embrace the idea that there are alternatives and that we are still being at the forefront of progress. And I never want another election stolen the way the 2020 was. So I'm looking for blockchain to do the new voting rolls. I don't want to go to paper because Chicago stole the election in only paper in 1960, and they've been bragging since the day after. I want to go forward, not backward. Are you hearing of an advancement to where we can guarantee at least our elections? Because without that, it's game over. They've been stealing elections for 100 years in Democrat enclaves, and they'll continue until we legitimize it.
Look, I've been arguing that blockchain technology is suitable for elections, both local, state, and federal now for over a decade. I've been saying this. It's become much easier now. One of the pushbacks that we've had is the fact that the older generation doesn't know how to use blockchain. You know, with all due respect, I think it was a little bit more complicated 4 or 5 years ago, but now it will feel like any other digital platform. You lock in the vote. It's permanently on the blockchain. One vote per person. We could manage all of that. We could vote in our homes, off of our phones, without without
with our fingerprint or retina technology to guarantee it.
Correct. And by the way, if you don't want to vote at home on your phone, you can go into a polling station too. That's no problem. We can handle all of that. That technology is real, and it's available for us to use now. It's just that we don't like change. As a society, we tend to shy away from new technologies and change. But to your point, we need to embrace these things and go further if we want to advance. What's interesting is with Venezuela so far in the news right now, which, we're all watching Trump a mess, the military in the Caribbean and Pete Hegseth is taking out these narco-terrorists, and it's all the power to you. Meanwhile, in Venezuela, the Nobel laureate, who is, I think she gets her award tomorrow or the day after, Corina Machado, she won the election there with their incredible technology. They were known for their technology in voting. She won by over 70%, and Maduro stepped in and shut everything down. And the reality is that all of that is just, at the end of the day, it's all a fraud. And blockchain technology could have protected that election and could protect all of our elections in the future. And that's where we're going. And you're absolutely right, Shaun. It's just a matter of time. It's not a question of whether or not we go there. It's just when we get there.
I was obsessed
now,
with...
By the way, I talk about it in my book, too. We are ready now. Yeah, yes. We are there.
And, I was obsessed with how the election was stolen because I was doing the coverage that night. And when Sidney Powell came out and discussed the fraud in the machines, the way in which they were manipulated, it reminded me of a documentary called Kill Chain, which was financed by Democrats after the Duchess of Chaffington, some call Hillary Clinton, lost to Donald Trump in 2016. And it's a fascinating... Oh, yeah, she can't get rid of that ratch, which is why Bill Clinton won't go near her. He's grabbing interns. However, It's been there, right? That this evidence has been there, and yet no one could talk about it. And when you see how successful the Democrat mafia was at controlling the narrative, in there lies the problem. So if you're telling me in Venezuela it legitimized the vote, there's a chance for Chicago and New York. And that's the way I see it, because the Democrats are very comfortable stealing things, as you can see from our own recent history. But what I love about this blockchain, it's impossible to steal. It's how trillions of dollars are moving in a millisecond, and not a dollar is lost. I don't know why. I don't know when we became afraid of progress, because we're the country of progress. And, I've done a little research in it. I trace it back to Ralph Nader, that nerdy bastard, and what he did with the Corvair. He understood if you could lie, cheat, and steal, next thing you know, you could erase an entire great car. So in there lies the problem, the naysayers and the fear-mongers. It's the old Marxism, fear, obligation, and guilt, right?
Totally agree. I couldn't agree with you more. And I don't know why you talk about Marxism. We literally are living in a country now, in a time period where it's chic to go back into communism, to go into Marxism. And we were seeing it, again, at the local, state, and federal level. I'm happy you're bringing it up, because to me, it's like painstaking to see that we have not just policymakers, but lawmakers in the most hallowed halls of Congress and beyond. What would the world look like today if President Trump had not won? It's incredible, but it's scary at the same time. The midterms are super important, Shaun. They're barreling towards us, and we got to make sure that we don't lose all of those seats. From what I'm hearing from my colleagues right now, we're at risk of losing 20 to 35 seats right now, which will hurt us. We'll be embroiled with lawsuits and more of this Marxist, communist type of mindset. It's really critical that we go forward. One last thing, just real quickly. Congresswoman Salazar from Miami, she's a first-generation from Cuba. She recently stood on the congressional floor and asked for Maxine Waters to vote in favor of an anti-communist bill that she was putting forward, and Maxine wouldn't do it. She refused to vote against the against communism and socialism. Where are we living? What is going on?
Well, that's why, and the beauty of Trump, it is beautiful. He never really won or ran for another office than the presidency. And he did it because, whether he knows it or wants to admit it or not, he is the first third-party candidate to ever win, whether he says it or not. And what he did and gets no credit for, he took two candidates from the other party, presidential candidates, put them in his administration, and I think he's missing a tremendous opportunity. You see, there is no we. I'm from Illinois. We have never had a Republican, ever. They're all Democrat lights who just want the sidecar of corruption. So what I want him to do is what the most underrated actor of all time, Apollo Creed in Rocky III. There is no tomorrow, Rock. Just do it right now and rip out this communism the way it was put in. And I think you go after the progressive tax. The idea that this country built on freedom has been hampered since 1913 with the number 2 plank of the Communist Manifesto keeps all of the decent earners afraid to fight for their own money. And that's why the definition of greed changed. In America today, the definition of greed is somebody who wants to keep their own money, not the Somalian immigrant who steals it. It's got to get back to normal, and he has 1 year. And do you think he can do? Really, you got 1 year. There is no tomorrow, Rock. Can you relay that for me?
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. I remember those words, and I'm with you. But I guess the real question is, a little bit deeper. Are we really free? Are we free as a society? Are we free as individuals? No. Here in New York City, when you get down through federal, state, and local tax, for me, someone like me, I'm giving up almost 60% of my income.
Why do you hate the money, Mark? Why do you hate your own money?
Right. It's the most insane thing. And then the cost of taking a taxi across town or sending my kids to school or anything like this, it's through the roof. So what are we doing here in America? Are we really free?
No. And this is what I've come to. I came to this conclusion 20 years ago. You know why? I started to make money. And until you make money, you don't even realize what a slave you are. And then when you finally hit that number in your head, which you're going to laugh at me. You're going to laugh at me. The number was infinitesimal. I said, boy, oh boy, I'm going to have a great life now. And then you get your income tax, and you say, wait a minute, why am I going to live at 50% of my money? Why? Yeah. And then you move about the country, right? And by the way, I'm not wearing pants right now. Florida is the place to be, not just because of the weather. It's the place to be because it's one of the last states that doesn't charge you state income tax. You only pay tax on what you buy. That's how it should be. I need Trump, who is a Floridian, to do this for my people who are trapped behind enemy lines in a Marxist mafia place, and they can't leave for family and affection and love, and they're afraid because they're older and their sphere of influence. But this country guarantees that, and I need him to run like there is no tomorrow. I know he only sleeps about an hour and a half a day. I'm very impressed as somebody who only sleeps 3 hours. But I need him to be aware he has no friends in the Republican Party. They're waiting for him to get out of there, just like the Democrats are.
I agree with you, actually. Unfortunately, I agree with you. But the other issue is where you sit. It's truth from our media. You know, we're living in a time where there's this weird groupthink, and everybody's jumping on this communist bandwagon. They see social media sound bites that are great for, free, right? That's what they're all saying. They did it here in New York. But then we're seeing it up in the traditional legacy media as well. If you turn on television, sometimes I'll put on like MSNBC, CNN to see what's happening. It's like my eyes explode. These people are just not telling the truth. And to a certain extent, it's just like they're towing the party line, but it's what you would find in a government that is run by a communist leadership.
Well, look at the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The Soviet Union, if you weren't part of their commissar, what was the next best gig? Pravda.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we've got. We should just, either he fixes it or we change it to the USSA. And I don't want to do that. I had too many relatives fighting those bastards.
Shaun, remember when Biden was in office? Like, you would see all of the Congress people on the morning news saying the same thing, all the Democrats saying the same thing, the same soundbite, covered all across legacy media. And that was the party line. That's how they would march forward together. It's kind of crazy. That's what we're living in now.
Mark, when I first got the job, I shouldn't have this job. I was just a caller. When I first got the job, I thought to myself, gee, how am I going to articulate and prove my point? I went on the DNC website. This is years ago. On the DN web, that's where they release it. The DNC website back then, it was an election year.
They put their talking points out?
They put all the talking points. You just sign up for this, and they tell them, blah, 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 and you hear it in a mirror image, different accents from sea to shining sea. These imbeciles, and when you really look at who we're talking about, these are the dumbest people in the world. Look at Gavin Newsom, trust fund baby from the father who was the lawyer for John Paul Getty. You can't make it up. You can't write a script that's as good as that. He can't get out of a room without an exit sign, but he looks handsome. He's got the hair all back, nice, clean white shirt. Here's a guy riddled in failure and scandal, and that's their best shot. And we should be lucky for that, because J.B. Pritzker, although he can't do a push-up and has butter hands, he's even more dangerous and more of a cheat. So I love the fact that at least you're there and you have the ear and that there is progress, because I can't wait for my AI robot. Please tell Elon to make a female one when I get old. I would really like a female robot to take care of me. Can you do that for me?
It's coming. Those babies are coming for you. Don't worry about it. They'll be here in no time. But look, the robots are going to be interesting too. Something that's been top of my mind. You mentioned Elon. Something that's top of my mind. Elon was just talking the other day, and it's something that I actually mentioned in the book. Right now, this moment in time, you have AI and robotics coming together in a massive way, and people are concerned. You and I have discussed this before. People are concerned about the elimination of jobs, particularly at the blue-collar level. So think about robots that can go in now and plan through the use of AI better than humans. Let's take agriculture, for example. Perhaps they could create a situation where farming is performing better than the way humans can. And then, as a result, the robots could take all of, they become the struggle.
Well, they already did. I did the thing. I did a thing. It's 80% of the produce is already automated. 80%. Right. So, this is the beauty. A lot of it was we're already there. We just got to admit it.
But, Shaun, this is the thing. So if we take that concept and AI and robotics are running across multiple business categories, does it free people up so that we're not working like slaves to the system anymore? Is that a good thing? Do we become less productive? Is it a good thing because it allows for us to then maybe take our time instead of these back-breaking jobs, which I'm sure a lot of your audience is doing, like, we could become innovative. We could spend time with our hobbies, our family, our loved ones.
Well, I'll tell you why. And don't be mad at me. I'm against it. I could talk to you for 3 hours, but I'm against the clock. I'm going to tell you why. When you look at the actual numbers and you go through who actually is an asset in paying taxes, it's 20% of the third that work. That's it. So the other 80% could become more motivated and more useful. And they could become something that they never thought they could be. They would have the freedom to think and dream of what they really want rather than the feudalism of just getting by. And I think I mean, we already got how many people on welfare. I think it's really the answer. And you know what? This is who I learned this from, the optimism. It's everything you talk about when it comes to embracing the future, whether it's crypto, whether it's blockchain, whether it's AI. That's why I love the fact you wrote the book and you come on my show and you tell everybody some future day how AI is going to change everything. I can't wait for volume 2 and 3. But more importantly, thank you, Mark, for making time for me. I really appreciate it.
Shaun, First Lady of the United States tomorrow. My agency is launching her new AI book. We launched it first in English, last week in Spanish, and tomorrow in Portuguese. Go check it out on MelaniaTrump.com.
You tell her it's been so...
Your First Lady using AI in multiple languages now.
And you tell her it's wonderful to have a first lady who's really a lady. I never bought that thing with the big foot and the broad shoulders for 8 years that they were selling it. Mark, thanks for making time.
I'll tell her tonight. You got it. You got it. Thanks for having me, Shaun.
Anytime, brother. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
Broadcasting from the petri dish of corruption known as the state of Illinois.
In the upper Midwest, the nation, and around the world.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, it's Scott Tucker, and I'm here with
Amy Jacobson
from Retirement Dakota with Scott Tucker and Amy Jacobson here on AM 560, The Answer. Now, I'm a financial advisor, and Amy's the co-host for our program. You know, Amy, recently President Trump signed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. A lot of folks aren't realizing, Amy, that if they have highly appreciated assets, they can potentially tax defer the capital gains tax, place that money into a qualified opportunity fund, and then 10 years from now, get back out of that investment and pay no capital gains tax on either investment. Have you heard of such a thing, Amy?
I did not know about that. That seemed to be hidden in the bill.
It's only 900 some pages.
Yeah,
we have to pass it to see what's in it.
An easy beach read, yes.
Yes. And now there's another thing in the bill as well, Amy. Section 1202. Amy, did you read Section 1202?
I did not, but thank you for the homework assignment.
If you're a small business owner, many small business owners can now sell their small business and potentially pay no federal capital gains taxes on that capital gain of selling their business.
Wow.
If you'd like to get a free copy of my latest book, Escape Illinois, Should I Stay or Should I Go? Text the keyword book, that's BOOK, to 224-496-3999. Text the keyword book to 224-496-3999. In addition to the free copy of my latest book, Escape Illinois, Should I Stay or Should I Go? You'll also get our entire Retirement Decoded toolkit. We'll also give you the opportunity to talk to us 15 minutes for free over the telephone and at another time so we can go through the One Big Beautiful Bill Act with you, show you how to potentially sell your highly appreciated assets and pay no federal capital gains tax, how qualified opportunity funds work, and also if you're a small business owner, how to potentially pay no capital gains on the sale of your small business through Section 1202 of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Text book to 224-496-3999 or call that very same number, 224-496-3999.
Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Firm does not offer tax advice.
Hi, this is Shaun Thompson. The roller coaster. No matter your age, no matter the amusement park, it never ceases to bring the emotional goods, the anticipation, the excitement, and then the fear and the adrenaline rush that comes from the king of all rides. The same can be said when it comes to your retirement. Lots of questions and concerns that for some reason can feel like a roller coaster. Will you be able to continue to live as comfortably as you do now? Or will you have the complete financial independence? Or will you run out of money? How about taxes, Social Security, or health care? Tom Fortino and the team at Alpha Wealth Group can answer all of these questions and much more with their roadmap to retirement. And all you have to do is simply call 630-864-6711. That's 630-864-6711. Or online at alphawealthgroup.com. Call Alpha Wealth Group today, and let's save the fear and adrenaline for the amusement park.
It's news, opinion, and insight at the speed of your life. Streaming at 560theanswer.com on the AM 560 mobile app, or tell your smart speaker to play The Answer Chicago.
Thanks, Shaun. 20 degrees in Chicago in the AM 560 newsroom on AM 560 The Answer. For Arctic air affecting millions, temps well below freezing. More snow expected in Chicago midweek. The Chicagoan Dave Karwoski is bracing for a long winter.
For the last 7 or 8 years, never seen this much snow this early. So it's not a good sign.
Social media video, you're hearing it there. Protesters started throwing snowballs amid a standoff with the feds in Elgin on Sunday. That is located in the metro area. Demonstrators shouting out as agents deployed tear gas. Elgin police say they were treated at the scene. DHS agents made an arrest at the scene and were involved in a car crash. Suspect has been charged 9 months after a man was found shot, dismembered inside a burning Lawndale home. 32-year-old DeParis Slaughter arrested on Saturday. Cops say he's responsible for the March 7th killing of a 68-year-old man. This update is delivered to you by Quick Delivery Service. Visit quickdelivery.com when you need same-day delivery, local delivery when you need it from safe, licensed professionals. Go to quickdelivery.com now to schedule your delivery. Next news coming your way at 6. Continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. On AM 560 from the traffic center, check the roads with Jill Urchak.
On the Edens, going out, no troubles. The Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare, 45 minutes. And the Eisenhower, 1 hour, post office to 390. Inbound Stevenson, watch out for an accident in the center lane after California, 45 minutes in, 55 out with an accident at the Tri-State. Outbound Ryan up to 45 minutes, slowing down in the Express, 35th to the Skyway, 57 clear. Ford a little tight out, DuSable Lakeshore Drive heavy either way. All of the tollways except the Jane Addams are showing delays in both directions. Westbound 8094, medical emergency at Indianapolis in the right lane. This report is a service of Turnkey. Turnkey is the key to cyber protection. For a limited time, Turnkey is offering all new customers their first month of service free, including Microsoft licensing, antivirus, anti-malware, data backup, plus 24/7 help desk support. Visit turnkey.pro today. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Tonight will be mostly cloudy with a breeze, and temperatures won't be as cold as before with a low of 17. However, the temperature will rise into the middle 20s. Moving into Tuesday, expect mainly cloudy skies with a breeze persisting in milder conditions compared to before with a high of 38. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. This December could be one that you'll always remember if you enter the Roland's Jewelers 12 Days of Christmas contest. You could win a $200 gift card from Roland's Jewelers in Libertyville. We're drawing 12 winners throughout the month of December, and you could be one of them. Enter today at 560theanswer.com/gift. That's 560theanswer.com/gift.
Check off the wish list with instant savings and free battery offers on select steel tools. Shop online or in store.
This is Shaun Thompson here to tell you about an opportunity for you to promote your business and make a difference this Christmas season. I'm talking about our Food for the Poor Business Benefactor Program. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide life-saving food and water for thousands of children and their families over the years. Your business can be a part of this effort. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. That donation will help more than 30 kids for the entire year. And when you do that, AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air right here, Monday through Friday, from 5 in the morning till 8 in the evening, prime time. And all you have to do to take advantage of this deal is call one of the best guys there is at the company, John Gallagher. You can reach him at 847-472-8950. Once again, that's 847-472-8950. 847-472-8950, or go to 560theanswer.com/food for the poor.
Well, that was a surprise. The HVAC tech just said our furnace apparently has a cracked heat exchanger, and it'll cost thousands.
Oh, you're kidding. He barely looked at it. Now he's pushing a huge repair? What should we do?
I don't really trust them. We need a second opinion. My brother Mark recommended Air Right Heating and Cooling. I looked them up and they seem legit. Great Google reviews. I'm sure they'd give us an honest assessment. He liked that they checked their carbon monoxide readings so he knows the air they're breathing is safe. And I guess it also gave a sense of how much life was left in their furnace.
I'd love that peace of mind. Plus, why spend a fortune on something we might not even need?
Get a second opinion from Air Right Heating and Cooling. Tell them AM 560 sent you and get $56 off any service. Visit Air Right Heating and Cooling right now at AIR-RITE.com. Again, that's AIR-RITE.com. Air Right Heating and Cooling. doing it right since 1959.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
That's what we worked so damn hard to do during my administration. In those 4 years, we created 16 million new jobs.
The more I listen to that, the more disgusted I am that we allowed this rat pig to steal the election in the first place. He stole the election.
Unemployment dropped. Unemployment dropped to a 50-year low. We lowered the price of everything from health care to cost of college to junk food.
Not one statement of truth. But then again, he's a Democrat. Do they even expect truth? Of course not.
And airline tickets and credit cards. We made a lot of progress. We had so much more we had to do to make life affordable for every American.
Like the Affordable Care Act, you stupid lying rat?
And it's this work that's motivated so many of you to step up, put your name on the ballot, and run for office. LGBT candidates across the country running not only to ensure equality for every American.
Who you decide to have sex with is not a resume builder. What? You heard me. Who you decide to have sex with is not a resume builder. That'll eliminate 80% of the morons out there.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
You. Exactly. I'm with that guy. 4 years of that nonsense. Not a one of it. Not a one of it legitimate.
Talking about Georgia, you've actually mentioned that some of the counties didn't actually do a hand recount. Now, can you tell me more about this?
Yes, they often ran the same ballots through the same fraudulent creating machines, which did absolutely no good whatsoever. They did not look at each ballot and compare the signatures. If we could even get 100,000 ballots of the last 100,000 ballots run in Georgia, for example, we could show by instant mechanical analysis the difference in the ballots and the ink. We know that there were hundreds of thousands of fraudulent ballots imported into the country, likely from China. We have video of some coming across the border from Mexico. There's
vindication, and nobody cares. They ruined that lady. Ruined her. What was her big sin? She was a prosecutor, and she supported Trump, and she spoke the truth.
There's other information of ballots being shipped from one state to another. In fact, there was a postal service driver, I think, who was sent from New York to Pennsylvania in the middle of the night with a truckload of ballots that was then used to, quote, backfill, end quote.
But then, if Biden wouldn't have won, the Somalians wouldn't have been able to steal $8 billion, along with every other Democrat scumbag right there in Chirac. They ever get the scumbag doctor who sold $100 million for COVID tests? Whatever happened with that? Just going to plea it out, take his Lotus and pretend you're even?
You've heard me say before that when I was growing up, whenever something bad happened, I used to be a stutterer and people made a lot of fun of you, a lot of other things. My dad would look at me and say, Joey, just get up. Get up, Joey. Get up.
I like the outbursts of anger due to the dementia. I personally like it. And he's 80 years old, and not a lick of that story can be verified. Scoundrel. You know, every time he opens his mouth, just pathological lies.
We just have to get up. So long as we keep the faith, summon hope, and get back up and remember who in the hell we are.
I know who you are. You're thieves. And in every one of your Democrat enclaves, thievery. And everybody Obama appointed and Biden stoked and protected. Every one of you. Thieves and crooks.
Investigators say the operation involved up to 220 kilograms of cocaine, valued at nearly $5 million, and at least $12 million in money laundering agreements linked to cartel business. Campo, now retired from the DEA since 2016, reportedly even flashed his badge during one of the meetings, a moment prosecutors say was designed to gain trust and show influence. At the time, he believed he was speaking with cartel members, but in reality, that member was a government-controlled confidential source.
Every one of them, from the lowest appointees in the DEA all the way up to the AG.
There are, however, certain points I want you to know. First, I personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter. Second, the department does not take such a decision lightly.
Did you tell everybody about your son-in-law and the $1 billion contract for the school nonsense for the LGBTQ trans testicles? Robert, Bloomingdale.
Shaun, how you doing today?
Wonderful.
Hey, what do you think about the good governor wanting to defy President Trump on tax on tips? He wants to tax servers, and get this, for all those people who are professional painters, a paint tax.
Well, if they're Democrats and they voted for him, they should shut their mouth and pay it. Everybody else is a victim. Like everywhere the Democrats abuse and financially rape the so-called Republicans. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Right, so if you're a painter and you're a Democrat, shut up. If you're a waiter and you're a Democrat, shut up. If you're a Chicagoan and you voted for Brandon Johnson, shut up. 312-642-5600.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
If you or someone you love are getting high quotes for dental implants, visit almostfreeteeth.com today. With a medical PPO insurance plan, it's possible to save 90% off on average to be able to smile again. Check if you qualify now at almostfreeteeth.com.
This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you that they are making it through. They want to thank you for your continued support by passing on some Christmas specials to our listeners. Get the Children's Bible Story Pillow 5-pack for $29.98. My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98. Blankets, comforters, and duvets for as low as $25, and a blowout sale on the standard MyPillows for just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including the standard size MyPillow, originally $49.98, now only $14.98. Queens, $18.99. Kings, only $1 more. 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. We know MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty, but MyPillow has just announced that they are extending their 60-day money-back guarantee. That's right. Orders placed between now and December 25th will have their 60-day money-back guarantee extended through March 1st, 2026. Promo code LIBERTY.
For months, you've been hearing ads about Virago immune support. I have to tell you, this stuff is for real. I had an occasion to not be feeling well on a remote broadcast. I took it, and it is the real deal. And the stronger your immune system, the stronger your body defends against diseases, viruses, and everything else. That's why Dr. Huber created Virago, a liquid immune booster supplement. You take it daily. It's a blend of 23 nutraceuticals working in synergy to maximize effects and boost your immune system. It's the nutraceutical cocktail for an immune system, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. Virago even protects your heart, your kidneys, your liver, all in a unique liquid supplement for better absorption. Do yourself and your spouse a favor. Order a bottle of Virago today online at myvirago.com. That's myvirago.com. Use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. Maha and Virago, making America healthy again.
Why wait for Black Friday when you can save every day? We're extending Black Friday Plus at Hassellus Mattress on all Beautyrest, Beautyrest World Class, and Beautyrest Black mattresses. Now through Monday, get a Queen Beautyrest Elm Cove A mattress. Others sell it for $1,650, but our Black Friday Plus price is just $794, plus free adjustable base, plus free memory foam pillows, plus free next day delivery, and a great night's sleep. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hassellus.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
Well, Elon Musk is set to make more than every elementary school teacher in America combined. Millions of Americans are learning that they have to pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars more every month just to keep their health insurance. Why? Republicans in Congress are letting the Affordable Care Act's enhanced premium tax credits expire.
That's a nice way to say welfare. I don't know how anybody listens to a word of that moron. 40 years, just lying. It's our new campaign commercials, bro.
Like the Seminole, Navajo, Kickapoo, like those Indians, I'm an Indian too. too.
I think it sounds better when you...
Now, these tax credits help lower the cost of health insurance for millions.
Just like rising moon, falling hands, running nose, like those.
And she'll win in perpetuity. The Democrats can't get enough of that scumbag. Michael in Bridgeport.
Hey, Shaun, are you listening? Can you hear me?
I'm listening. I could hear you. That's how I know you're from Bridgeport.
What are we
you
gonna do
listening?
about this?
You didn't say anything yet. Yes, go ahead.
The scumbag Tony Pretwinkle, no one talks about this that's coming up.
Handsome,
we talk
isn't she?
about all this stuff in the past. We talk about all these goofballs, but the root, Hyde Park, Obama, Tony Pretwinkle, Dick Durbin, all these assholes. Excuse me.
Oh, don't worry. Squirrel's got his hand on the button. They're little hands. They move fast. They cut right through the air. So,
but people got to look at her husband worked at the Forest Reserve District for 2 weeks. He got
you're talking
a
about Zeus?
pension.
Zeus?
Yeah.
Lifetime
Yeah.
pension. Listen, that poor son of a dog, he deserves something. Could you imagine Tony Preckwinkle in a negligee coming at you with the broccoli hanging out? Come on, Michael. You got a lot of guys in Bridgeport never showed.
I think oh my God, I could talk about this till I'm blue.
Yeah.
This is terrible. Terrible.
Well, what's terrible is that she's going to win and a walk away, and everybody knows what she is. And this is the other problem, right? You get used to it. You get used to it. And there she is, standing in front of you, making fun of the decent people. And that's the part people have to understand. If you're a decent person and you go to work and you want to get ahead and you want you're aiding in the destruction of your kids and your grandkids' future. You're aiding in that destruction. That's how I view Democrats, Michael. It really is. And Crook County is a laughingstock in the country, arguably around the world. They deserve it. They deserve it.
Yeah.
So if you vote Democrat and you're going to pay Zeus's pension, hey, that son of a gun's in California making love to real women. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, Shaun. My parents passed away. They left me a condo in Naples, Florida. I'm stuck here in county for Crook County for a little longer. Till I get my son out of college. And
don't you sell that.
I'm gonna walk into your store one day.
I don't have a store down here, but you get a hold of me, we'll walk on the beach and have a cigar. Don't you sell that, Michael. You never sell winners to protect losers.
I won't.
All right. I'll see you soon.
I'm trying to get there to relax is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, keep your head on a swivel before you get carjacked to end up with your underwear in your mouth in the trunk. Thank you, Michael. We'll be back.
Whether you are old or young, no one likes to lose money. The market is at an all-time high. How much risk does your portfolio really have in it? Are you worried that you could lose your hard-earned money? Call TJ Stearns in Arlington Heights at 800-640-2256 for your free risk report. Call right now and we will include a full analysis of your portfolio. Don't wait until it's too late. Call TJ Stearns, a local and longtime sponsor on AM 560. Call 800-640-2256. Call now and tell him AM 560 sent you.
This is Shaun Thompson here to tell you about an opportunity for you to promote your business and make a difference this Christmas season. I'm talking about our Food for the Poor Business Benefactor Program. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide life-saving food and water for thousands of children and their families over the years. Your business can be a part of this effort. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. That donation will help more than 30 kids for the entire year. And when you do that, AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air right here, Monday through Friday, from 5 in the morning till 8 in the evening, prime time. And all you have to do to take advantage of this deal is call one of the best guys there is at the company, John Gallagher. You can reach him at 847-472-8950. Once again, that's 847-472-8950. 847-472-8950 or go to 560theanswer.com/food for the poor.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800 1-800-555-2085. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-2085 or biglou.com.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. It's your last chance to get exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 35% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Your home or business has storm damage and you have an insurance claim.
Call Crosscom.
Crosscom Construction and Public Adjusters. Today, insurance companies are notorious for offering way too little money to repair damage to your home or commercial building due to wind, hail, tornado, floods, or fire. Crosscom works for you, not the insurance company. As licensed adjusters, Crosscom will work to get you the money you deserve, the maximum payout.
Call Crosscom.
630-871-5500. After they get you the fair insurance company result, Crosscom can start doing your repairs. Crosscom is a full construction and restoration company that will get your property back to its pre-loss condition, getting your life back to normal. Roof, siding, windows, doors, fire restoration, Crosscom does it all.
Call Crosscom.
Licensed in Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, and Wisconsin.
This is Dan Lights with Crosscom. We share your conservative and Christian values. Let us handle everything. It all starts with a call.
630-871-5500. CrosscomPublicAdjusters.com.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
When we talk about money, it's such a pleasure for me. I get to talk to my friend. When it has to do with cash equities, commodities, financial products, agriculture, on three main continents, he is an expert. He's a handsome son of a gun. From adjunct professor to host of The Cow Guy Close, we will be joined by Scott Shalaty, Scott the Cow Guy, and that'll happen after Foxweiser News.
She could be held in contempt. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. A federal judge is looking into whether the Homeland Security Secretary disobeyed the law over actions during deportation flights earlier this year.
Judge James Boasberg is ordering a hearing next week to determine if Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem willfully disobeyed a court order when she did not turn around deportation flights back in March. Boasberg says at least one of those planes did not turn around. DHS has argued the decision to continue those flights was made before the court issued a temporary restraining order. Boasberg says since it is unclear how that decision was made, he wants former and current Justice Department lawyers to appear as witnesses to answer questions.
Fox's Jared Halpern of the White House. President Trump's former personal attorney, Alina Habba, has resigned as the top federal prosecutor for New Jersey after an appeals court ruled she had been serving in the role illegally, making the announcement on X, but also saying the administration will continue to appeal. A vocal critic of President Trump, Texas Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, has announced she's running for Senate. Crockett with the official announcement a short time ago, saying there were people who told her it was important for her to remain in the House, but she says,
what we need is for me to have a bigger voice. What we need is not only a voice, but we need to make sure that we are going to stop all the hell that is raining down on all of our people.
Crockett is hoping to unseat Republican John Cornyn, who is facing a primary challenge from Secretary of State Ken Paxton and Congressman Wesley Hunt. And Bruce Blakeman, a Republican county official in New York's Long Island, expected to announce he's running for governor, which will trigger a primary against Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. She announced her candidacy last month. America is listening to Fox News.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On the Edens outbound trip, you're good. The Kennedy out to O'Hare from downtown. That is a 40-minute ride. Eisenhower out an hour. Post office to 390. Inbound Stevenson, a couple of crashes, one at Cicero and another at California. That one's in the left lane. It is a 40-minute ride going in, an hour back out to the Veterans Memorial. Outbound Ryan 40 with tie-ups in the Express, 35th to the Skyway. DuSable Lakeshore Drive still showing delays both north and south, but that is improving. Tri-State South also improving. South still heavy. North looks pretty good. The other tollways showing tie-ups either way. Eastbound 80, the exit ramp close to southbound 57 with a stall. This report is a service of Woodland Windows and Doors in Roselle. Brighten your home and make the rooms in your house look better and bigger with larger windows or patio doors this spring. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your consultation today. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Tonight will bring mostly cloudy skies with a breeze, and it won't be as cold as previous nights with a low of 17. The temperature will rise into the middle 20s. Tuesday will be mainly cloudy and breezy, but not as cold with a high of 38. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Julia owed the IRS thousands.
I was paralyzed with fear.
Then
I heard a commercial for Optima Tax Relief.
Optima Tax Relief is the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and experts in the Fresh Start Initiative.
Optima Tax Relief settled my IRS tax bill.
Call Optima now for a free consultation.
It was amazing.
Call 800-926-0155. 800-926-0155.
Optima Tax Relief.
Visit OptimaTaxRelief.com for details.
This is the time of the year most of us are checking off our holiday gift list. Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on that list. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every single second and alerts you to the threats you could miss yourself. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to work to fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com with the promo code BECK. Terms apply.
We couldn't decide if we needed in-home care for Dad.
Right. Just some help here and there with bathing, organizing his meds, a walk through the neighborhood.
Oh, exactly. But everywhere we looked, we had a 4-hour minimum. It was more care than he needed. And it didn't make sense to spend extra for it.
Then we found Senior Helpers of Naperville Southwest. No minimum hours. We were shocked.
Now a caregiver stops by once or twice a week for just an hour or two to help with the small things that make a big difference.
And Mom loves the visits. It's not just help. It's companionship.
At Senior Helpers of Naperville Southwest, we understand that not every family needs round-the-clock care. We serve DuPage, Cook, Kane, Kendall, and Will counties. We conduct free in-home assessments and we guarantee compatibility. Call Senior Helpers of Naperville Southwest today at 331-281-0728. Again, that's 331-281-0728. And tell them AM 560 sent you. Senior Helpers of Naperville Southwest. Senior care, only better.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Get top dollar for guns and military items. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag.
Money, 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 money. It affects each and every one of us.
And when the band plays, hey,
some of us work, all of us get financially extorted who are honest. My next guest understands this and so much more when it comes to money. From adjunct professor, you see him on CNBC, BBC, CNN, Fox News, an expert in cash equities, technical trade experience, commodities, financial products on 3 main geographies, North America, Europe, and Asia. It's no wonder he is the host of his own television show, The Cow Guy Close, on RFD TV from 12:30 to 1. He's got it all. Beauty, brains. He's a little stout, ladies, but he's more huggable and gives off more heat than a hot water bottle. He's Scott the Cow Guy Shellady.
You always outdo yourself, Shaun. Thanks for having me on.
Let's see Stuart Varney top that tomorrow. But
exactly
I do have a question for you. And I get it. I do get it. But I heard something in this little dissertation I want you to pick up on.
I'm delighted to announce this afternoon that the United States will be taking a small portion of the hundreds of billions of dollars we receive in tariffs. We are making a lot of money from countries that took advantage of us for years. They took advantage of us like nobody's ever seen. Our deficits are way down. because of tariffs. So what we're doing is we're taking a relatively small portion of that, and we're going to be giving and providing it to the farmers in economic assistance. And we love our farmers, and as you know, the farmers like me because
So the allegation by news media is that this is a crazy bailout. And by the way, the farmers lost $50 billion. But what they do not tell you until later in the interview is that the $50 billion, the vast majority, is from the Biden years. So how long have the farmers been ignored? And whether I want to call it a bailout or not a bailout, it's a fraction of the cost of the Biden administration to our agricultural sector, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, okay. So the $50 billion is over a 3-year span. 1 year was Trump, 2 years were Biden. And the 1 year under Trump, the prices were better than they were under the 2 years of Biden. So arguably, it's not equally shared across. Like, it's not 2/3 and a third. The farmers have had a difficult time, but not because of this tariffs in China. Yeah, there's a little bit of a rift there. Obviously, the two biggest economies in the world are not seeing eye to eye. But I'll tell you what, like I said, some of the prices of things we're talking about are higher this year than they were last year. So it's not about nobody buying your product. It's about how much the government, when the government pours $10 trillion into your economy, the Biden administration did, it blows inflation up to 40-year highs, 9.1% CPI. These poor guys are paying through the nose for labor, fuel, seeds, fertilizer, all the things, all the input costs to put the stuff in the ground have exploded on them. But the media doesn't talk about that. They only talk about the missed sales to China. Well, you know what? That is part of the problem. We would love to sell more to China. Yeah, that would be great. But it's not like the prices are on their knees because China hasn't been there. What the problem is the input cost from the inflation, and that inflation came under Biden. I mean, it's an easy call. And by the way, anybody that's out there that's upset about inflation, and you should be because it's compounding, right? We had 9.1% in April of 2022. Just because it comes down to 3% doesn't mean anything's coming down. It's still going up, but at a slower pace. So you've got compound inflation like you get compound interest. So everybody that's out there that's hurting right now, you are absolutely hurting right now. I'm hurting on some stuff too because inflation year over year is compounding, and that's the problem. We have to get rid of this inflation problem, and it was started under Biden 100%.
So absolutely, but here's the thing that I wish that they would talk about, and I understand why they don't. The other big cost to farmers is the increase in insurance and taxes. You know, nobody talks about this when it comes to property. Property taxes and insurance are parabolic compared to where they were 6 years ago. And when you give, now look, I understand the principles of why you're giving it, and I could argue you should give it to a certain extent, right? They're victims of bad policy, and they're this and that and the other thing. But ultimately, the devil's in the details. And when you take government money and you give it to pay taxes in the form of government revenue, how does that show up? And isn't that really the root of our problem? We keep doing that snake eating its tail, telling everybody what a great hunter we are. And I see this as a great aspect if some of the so-called profit, which I don't think it is, but let's call it profit. The profit goes to tackle some of the debt. I hear no talk except from a couple of guys, but I want to hear it from my guy. I want Trump and Bessent to have an idea. What's that?
He said it. He said he wants to do $2,000 rebates to, Americans that qualify, and some of it to pay off the debt. But nobody talks about the last part of that sentence. Everybody only heard the $2,000 per person. But he did mention, and he'd like to pay down the debt with some of it as well, not just 100% giving back.
Now, some of what I saw, because, listen, I love the Cow Guy clothes, and I follow you in what you talk about, and you talked about a plethora of different things, and I want to talk about all of them, but just for a minute, applying for jobs in 2025, you might as well throw it down a black hole to resume, right? And the other thing about kids,
unbelievable.
Kids going to colleges, and why investments are leaving Chicago and other Democrat areas. This to me needs to be focused in on, because I believe it's the massive cost of health care, the massive cost of insurance, and the massive fraud by not subsidizing it what it's going to leave. If you own a company and you know that every guy who has a wife and 2 kids is going to cost you $4,700 a month, you're going to fire everybody who is an absolutely essential. So for a kid to come out of college and think he's going to get a job at one of these companies, they're getting rid of people they would have never got rid of if it wasn't for Obamacare. Don't we need to keep the attention on just what a tremendous failure and what an economic nuke Obamacare really was and is?
I know, and the way that the Democrats didn't want to open the government up because they wanted more subsidies, they're admitting to you out loud that Obamacare has failed, and it's failed miserably. And, that's another thing about Jay Powell. I don't know if you watched my whole show today, but I had Nancy Tangler on, who's fantastic, and she manages a bunch of money. And we were talking about some of the ills in the economy, and she says, something that nobody ever talks about is insurance. Look at your homeowner's insurance. Look at your health insurance. And she's like, and by the way, that's, as much as the Fed thinks that the world revolves around them, that's one thing that the Fed can't touch with rates. They can't touch it with anything they do. Monetary policy, QE, whatever. They cannot touch insurance. And that's why, you know what? Walmart might come out, and this is what her quote was. Walmart comes out and says, prices are about, tariffs cause us prices to go up by 1%. And so everybody's like, oh, that's pretty good. That's not really that big of a deal, right? But she's like, that's a big deal if your insurance is doubled, in some cases tripled, over the last 2 or 3 years. It's insane. Nobody's got any money for anything else because of insurance on your house, on your car, on your health. Look at those rates, and it's toe-curlingly bad.
Oh, well, I live it. And, this is the untold saga of how the government in conjunction with corporatists, because I view insurance companies as corporatists. There is no such thing as insurance. And the functionality of what insurance is sucks. The first thing they do is deny, and then they defend and defend. And everybody with an IQ over 60 knows it. And when you look at some of the regulations, you live in a condo, and you're on the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 22nd floor. Because of a mortgage, you have a regulation, you have to have flood insurance. And then people go, oh, it's because of the pipe breaking. No. You can cover that separately. This is flood insurance because they want to financially rape the people who own property and have mortgages. But people who don't have mortgages, rich people, they don't pay this. They self-insure, and they're way ahead of the game. And you don't give an option to people who are handy or aware of costs and are willing to take the risk. It is a regulatory tool to destroy the quality of life, the economic life of an individual. That's how I view property insurance. I think property insurance is a tremendous scam.
I agree. I think property and health. I mean, listen to this. I had a viewer write into me about this weekend saying she couldn't afford she couldn't afford insurance anymore. She was thinking about taking a job that was going to, give it to her. But in the end, she got a quote. She had to have something done with something was wrong with her finger. She had surgery on it. And the quote was higher when she showed them insurance rather than paying cash. And so it was cheaper to have no insurance. She was going to have to pay the $2,500 either way, but if she had insurance, she'd have to pay the insurance $2,500. If she didn't have insurance, she had to pay the hospital like $2,200.
It's preposterous the way that we allowed it to work. We allowed this to work. It's a fraud and a scam, and we never corrected it. And here we are, where people are used to the abuse. And it's an interesting thing when you talk about auto insurance, because you could make the argument that auto insurance may be, on the face of things, one of the better deals when it comes to insurance. However, you hide the cost of just what it is with the illegal aliens crashing into things constantly and forever, driving up the cost, the carjackers, and where you live. Once again, they try to nullify the consequences of living near scumbags. And that's our problem. The problem in all societies are the scumbags. They don't follow the rules. They drive up the cost for the decent people. And that's the way the government, I view it as, the way the government tries to monitor society where you have equality through poverty. And that's the way it looks, especially in Democrat areas, which is why, leading into your next story, if you are a capitalist in a Democrat area and you like your job and you respect yourself and your money, you get the hell out of here. And that's exactly what we're seeing. We're witnessing Atlas shrugging, are we not?
Yeah, I agree. And I asked the question to one of the guys on my show today. I said, How does Pritzker, how does Johnson look in the mirror, knowing what's happening? I mean, it's got to be something that they're trying to do on their own for sure anyway, because it cannot be happenstance what's happening to that city, what's happening to that state. This has got to be all planned, because there's no way you could be that dumb to let all these people going, big companies leave that city and not care to stop what's going on. They don't care.
Well,
it's almost intentional what they're doing.
And it is intentional. And the wrench in the plan is Trump, which is why the vitriol, the hatred, the lies. Because the plan always was the way it has operated with. For decades now, it exists on bailouts and welfare. They just pretended it didn't. And they had enough business for the facade of legitimacy. Now they don't. Now think about it from the standpoint of the scallywag who did intend to always be bailed out by Section 8 housing or welfare from the federal government and taking from all the other states. Now they're looking at a place where they're saying, wait a minute, this guy's a real cowboy. He may not give us the money unless we clean up our act. So if you're in on the money bundling scam and you're part of that small crew who's been selling bonds and bribing Democrats to continue to run, you're nervous now too. Because if he does, in fact, shut off the pipeline, their plan failed. And they're in the ninth inning of cashing out. And that's what they needed, another Democrat in office, because their only plan comes with one answer and one answer only. It has to come from a federal bailout, not because the federal government has money, but because they can create it. And that's what they're banking on. And they don't like Trump's talk about not bailing them out. What do you think?
He's absolutely said it out loud, too. I'm not going to bail them out. He said it about Mamdani. I'm not going to, when they come hand in hand, I'm not doing it. And you know what? If Johnson's, he's got an ear to the ground, I'm sure he heard that. And you know what they're going to do first, though, Shaun, I think, is they're going to bleed you dry with your real estate tax. And when that finally runs out, then they're going to turn cap in hand to the government.
Well, and when you hear the people who are in charge of the government, and you hear them talk about the taxes and somehow try to justify taxation on these properties in these areas where the people are not safe, where the government does protect the predators. And when they talk about it, they talk about it in a zero-sum game. Well, we're losing money on the commercial. So we've had that scam going for a century where the commercial was bailing out all of you. Now it's on you, and now we're going to have to tell you it's because the commercial's bad. Granted, we killed it, but now you're going to have to pay it. And if you look at the system in the law, you can't even protest by not paying it because they will, in fact, take your house. And that is the cherry on the sundae when you are truly handcuffed into economic slavery to a crooked government. That's how I view Cook County.
Yeah, I agree, because you know what? They better get all the money they can right now, because when they cripple these people, they enslave them to these homes that they can't sell. And they finally just walk away, because it will be a better choice to do that at some point in time. How much money does the city make on an empty house? Who's going to pay the tax on that? And who's going to buy it? Because of the taxes. They're insane, and they better get as much money up front as they possibly can, because it's the last trade they'll ever make.
And when you step back and look at it, the grand scheme, how could they possibly not hit the wall? I don't understand what the win is. How do you see the win? Are people saying, I got to move to Dalton. I got my eye on a Cape Cod, and I think I'm going to go to Olympia Fields? Because these are the areas where they have truly destroyed any benefit to home ownership. And you could argue everywhere in Cook County, but these areas are hit the hardest. And now it's just going to be what? Be the tidy bowl man? Dress up and not pretend you're in a toilet bowl?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, if you do the math, and all of those places you just mentioned and a lot more, it does not pay to own. You can't own. It just does not pay. The numbers don't work out.
Look at Harvey. They shut down the government. Harvey, you're here. It's insane.
Yeah. They took away they're taking away the American dream right in front of you.
Are you shocked that the federal government, the other side of the coin, why can't the federal government come in and say, you know what, you're in receivership because we've come to the realization Democrats cannot govern. Democrats cannot regulate. Democrats cannot enforce law. These towns where these people have lived for generations, if they're decent and honest people, they've been abused and victimized. So this town is going into receivership, and we're going to clean it up starting right now. I mean, what else is the other option if you're in one of these areas?
That is the only option, but it would be deemed so political. There's no way it would get off the ground because everybody's saying there's something behind it. It would be such a political. I mean, they can't even let people come in and help you police your streets, let alone take anything over. They don't let ICE come in to take away these bad dudes that are killing people. I mean, How can anybody continue to get federal funding when you're not letting ICE come in and take away the people that are causing the problem? And they're trying to tell me, Shaun, that Chicago is still a light, on the shining mountain, the White House on the shining mountain. They're trying to tell me that the population in Chicago is going up. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't see it. All I hear are the horror stories, and I have friends and family that tell me the horror stories, and I don't know who would ever want to buy a place in the city of Chicago right now, but apparently they're selling.
Well, and what they're selling for, I think, is what you'll see. I mean, you're talking about places you could buy now. When you were down there, we're selling for $8, $9, $1 million, $2. They're selling for $480. So I think it's hot potato to a certain extent. But I am keeping an eye on what Terry Duffy is doing at the Merck. Are you surprised he hasn't left you?
I mean, you know what? And this is the thing with people, these brain surgeons like Pritzker and Johnson don't understand that all these guys will have to do is get a big U-Haul truck, put all the servers in it from Aurora, and drive that thing down to Miami, and they open up Monday morning as the Miami Board of Trade. These guys don't get that.
Well, Duffy made his money. He's not a kid from money. He was a working guy. He worked his ass off and snappy dresser and made something out of himself. He's smart enough to know you can't commingle and what it will do to all of the decent people and all of the shareholders. I mean, at a certain point, I think he's going to have to join the band of nameless companies, hundreds of years, and have left in Illinois. Yet it gets very, very little coverage, and that has to come to attention sooner or later, doesn't it? When you're seeing buildings sell at 64% less than what they sold for 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Yeah, remember everybody used to say your seat, your membership to this exchange is backed by the value of the building. Well, how's that going for you?
Whew, you'd be nervous now, but and this is the thing. Ultimately, I think it has to get to that point. As you hear Johnson talk about this illusion, you could tax people as if they have to stay. And it's a sad thing as you see what happens. But ultimately, when you have this level of denial and this kind of cost decent people, what's the alternative?
You're right. I mean, they're getting so desperate everywhere. I mean, look at the California and the billionaires tax. They're taxing people if you want to leave the state. I mean, it's, you know what? I remember as a little kid wondering all the time, how come the Jewish people didn't leave Germany sooner? Well, it's because Hitler said you got to pay tax on your next 2 years imputed earnings. They're trying to do that in some Democratic states in the U.S. I mean, it's unbelievable. Go ahead.
And you know what I would always talk about? We would talk about this a lot in the pits with a lot of Jewish guys. And thank God that they were willing to have conversations with me and make me smarter. And it's a fascinating reality how the first thing that the National Socialist Worker Party did to the Jewish community was label them as nonconformists and capitalists. Before, it started on just hatred of the religion. The big slant by the government to rally support and have the natives light the torches was he called them capitalists. And I never forget that. And when you go through history, it's exactly what we're doing right now in these Democrat areas. As they become more totalitarian, more socialist, more Marxist, they keep demonizing capitalism, what made the country great and what makes us successful. And I want you to ask Varney when you're on there tomorrow. $18 trillion is what Trump has coming in. How much of that $18 trillion is going into a Democrat area? I'm dying to get the answer.
Well, I mean, yeah, some of it's going to be plants that are being built. I mean, I don't know how they're going to actually, dole that out.
I'll take a sawbuck on zero. You want a piece of that action kit?
It's also going to be over like 5 or 10 years too. I mean, he's not getting all 18 in 1 year.
No, of course not. But I mean, and if the Democrats should successfully grab the Democrats in Democrat areas, then it's not going to happen at all because people of business understand all you got to do is wait them out. And enough Floridas pop up, enough Tennessees pop up, enough Texases pop up, and that's where they're going to go. But I'll be watching tomorrow, 12:30 to 1:30, you handsome devil.
All right, brother.
All right, thank you very much. The Cow Guy closed. He is Scott Shallady. Can't wait till next week. Thanks for making time for me, brother.
Hey, man. Take it easy.
You too. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
Marxists, socialists, and communists are not welcome on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Hello?
Sir, this is Officer Peterson. There's been a string of break-ins in the area, and your office, it was hit.
Hit? What do you mean? We were robbed?
Looks like the back door lock was easily pried open, and they moved through the building like they knew exactly what to take. We see wires everywhere. No computers.
What? No computers? I just upgraded everything.
Looks like they moved fast. We only found out because a neighboring business had their alarm go off. Do you have any security cameras?
No, nothing.
Don't wait until it's too late. Goldilocks protects Chicagoland businesses with custom security solutions. From reinforced commercial doors with keyless entry to cameras and 24/7 monitoring that alerts authorities immediately. Schedule a free on-site assessment at GoldilocksInc.com. Again, that's GoldilocksInc.com. Plus, AM 560 listeners get their first 3 months of monitoring free with a new install. Call 708-889-5600. That's 708-889-5600. Goldilocks, Chicago's premier locksmith doors and security systems company since 1981.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say micro, offer ends 12/14. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
At Terra Vista of Oakbrook Terrace, dementia care isn't just what we do. It's all we do. We specialize in caring for those with Alzheimer's and other types of dementia. We're on the forefront of dementia care with a barrier-free, stress-free environment, so residents can explore safely and feel at home. But what truly sets Terra Vista apart? Personalized care. We take the time to learn each resident's story, where they lived, their routines, former careers, even the names of family members. Anyone who interacts with your loved one can immediately make them feel comfortable and understood. We meet our residents right where they are. Residents stay strong and engaged with multi-sensory activities, music, art, horticulture, our beautiful 18,000 square foot outdoor space, and even a personal trainer. At Terra Vista, residents aren't defined by their dementia. We honor the whole person. Speak to an advisor or schedule a tour today at terravista.org. Again, that's terravista.org, and tell them AM 560 sent you.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
Are you confident your IT systems are rock solid? There could be cracks you don't see. Don't leave your technology to chance. Take the Access One $10,000 challenge to find out. For more than 30 years, Access One has helped businesses strengthen their security, protect their data, and improve resistance to cyber vulnerabilities, all with reliable U.S.-based support. And here's our promise. If our experts can't identify at least one measurable improvement to your IT systems and processes based on NIST or CIS regulations, we'll reward your compliance excellence with $10,000. This free, confidential risk assessment is available to businesses with 25 to 500 employees, and it's a great way to verify your IT is secure and efficient. No gimmicks, just proven results from an experienced IT partner. Ready to put us to the test? Visit accessoneInc.com/challenge or call 800-654-1555 to schedule your assessment today. Certain conditions apply. See details online.
Our friends at Roland's Jewelers always make gifts memorable, but this Christmas season they wanted to make it a little easier for you, so they have a 12 Days of Christmas contest. Throughout the month of December, they'll be giving away $200 gift cards to their store in Libertyville, to 12 lucky winners. Celebrate Christmas this year with a gift of jewelry from Roland's Jewelers in Libertyville. Family-owned, wonderful place. And everything you buy is memorable and of quality. To enter, just go to 560theanswer.com/gift. That's 560theanswer.com/gift. Enter to win by the 20th of December. And remember, a Rolex is showing off, a Breitling's for telling time. When we get back, Verlon in Michigan, you'll be the first. That'll be After News with Patrick.
Thanks, Shaun. 19 degrees in Chicago. The AM 560 newsroom on AM 560 The Answer. Minority and low-income students in the Chicago public schools system scored much lower reading and math scores on the recently released Illinois report card than the state average.
Even as state officials inflated the number of students meeting proficiency benchmarks by lowering reading and math standards, new data shows low-income students posted achievement gaps as low as 22 points below state average. Illinois State Representative LaShawn Ford said there's a simple answer.
We need to move from what we call a goal to educate our students to a mandate to educate our students. That's where we're struggling at. It's only a goal in Illinois that we meet our students' needs. Until we make it a priority and a mandate, everyone in this state will suffer.
The Illinois report card was first made public in late October. I'm Greg Bishop.
McDonald's announcing plans to update its franchising standards. According to memos obtained by CNBC, franchisees worldwide are expected to be assessed on how their prices deliver value as the company seeks to appeal to cash-strapped diners who have been visiting its restaurants less frequently. Franchising standards are policies that define how McDonald's operators should run their restaurants, and the memo explained the company is seeking, quote, to ensure every restaurant delivers consistent, reliable value across the full consumer experience. McDonald's has also invested in tools to help franchisees determine how to address value in their local markets. This report is service of AlmostFreeTeeth.com. Think full mouth dental implants are too expensive? Think again. Not at AlmostFreeTeeth.com. With medical insurance, you could save thousands and receive your finally affordable dream smile. Check if you qualify today at AlmostFreeTeeth.com. Head to the traffic center now. Check the roads with Jill.
On the Edens, going out a 16-minute trip. The Kennedy downtown to O'Hare now a half hour. It's improving quickly. And the outbound Eisenhower 45 minutes. Post office to 390. Stevenson outbound 55 out to the Veterans Memorial Tollway from downtown. Dan Ryan 35 minutes downtown to 95th with those delays in the express still there. 35th to the Skyway. I-57 is clear, so is the Skyway. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, and that is still tight either way. Tri-State North looks good south, still delayed but improving. Jane Addams is wide open either way. And southbound 355 heavy Butterfield to Findlay. This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win, so what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Tonight will be mostly cloudy with a breeze, and temperatures won't be as cold as before with a low of 17. However, the temperature will rise into the middle 20s. Moving into Tuesday, expect mainly cloudy skies with a breeze persisting in milder conditions compared to before with a high of 38. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
When you're looking to make your business bulletproof, what comes to mind? Trustworthiness? Accuracy? Truthiness? Well, that's not even a real word. In today's competitive business landscape, considerations like trust, attention to service, accuracy, and knowledge are critical. So is cost, and finding the right balance is important, especially where your business insurance, employee benefits, and executive compensation needs are concerned. For bulletproofing your business, remember DSP Insurance Services. DSP is family-owned and has provided comprehensive risk management solutions and strategic excellence across industries for over 40 years. Business owners continue to partner with DSP because they offer the robust services of a national broker, yet a personal touch that is harder than ever to find these days. Contact DSP Insurance Services for a business and risk audit today. Visit online at dspmybusiness.com. That's dspmybusiness.com. DSP Insurance, your outsourced risk management department since 1981.
This is Shaun Thompson here to tell you about an opportunity for you to promote your business and make a difference this Christmas season. I'm talking about our Food for the Poor Business Benefactor Program. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide life-saving food and water for thousands of children and their families over the years. Your business can be a part of this effort. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. That donation will help more than 30 kids for the entire year. And when you do that, AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air right here, Monday through Friday, from 5 in the morning till 8 in the evening, prime time. And all you have to do to take advantage of this deal is call one of the best guys there is at the company, John Gallagher. You can reach him at 847-472-8950. Once again, that's 847-472-8950. 847-472-8950, or go to 560theanswer.com/food for the poor.
So how long were you told you'd be on that medication you're taking? That's what I thought. Question, do you believe it's possible for you to be set free of the medication you're currently on? Or will you be stuck taking it forever? Not to mention all of the side effects. Imagine what it would feel like to be drug-free. You know, the United States makes up less than 5% of the world's population, yet we use over 85% of the world's supply of medication. That's 95% of the world using 15% of the leftover medications, with over 53 other countries living longer than we do here in the United States today. So instead, let's help your body regain its health naturally. Begin your adventure in health with us today by calling our HealthQuest radio hotline and reserve your very own new patient strategy consultation with me. Call 800-794-1855. That's 800-794-1855. Oh, and listen to HealthQuest Radio with me, Dr. David Kolbaba, every Saturday morning at 11.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
That's not music, squirrel. What is that song? It's not half as good as Elizabeth Warren's new campaign commercial.
Like the Seminole, Navajo, Kickapoo, like those Indians, I'm an Indian too. A Sioux, ooh, ooh, a Sioux, ooh, ooh, just like rising moon falling.
I think I remember watching that movie, Squirrel, right after I watched The Lone Ranger. Elizabeth Warren looks a lot more like the Lone Ranger than she does Tonto. Is this my Rich? My drill instructor, Rich? How are you, you handsome devil?
That's who it is. I'm trying my best to get better, Shaun.
Good. Now, didn't I tell you?
Up, say hello, and thank you for all the good wishes, all the people out there, for you sending the videos.
Oh, don't be
But
silly.
it's tough. It's tough. You know, I got COVID when I was in here.
They're trying to kill you.
Else.
Didn't I tell you to put an NDD on all your medical paperwork and records? No Democrat doctors near Rich.
Yep.
So
but
tell
I
us.
got whammy with everything. I'll tell you what. If it wasn't for the bad news, there would be no news at all.
Good thing for you, you're a drill instructor. Did you catch yourself yelling at yourself?
Yeah,
Get out of bed.
all
Do
the
some
time,
push-ups.
Especially yesterday, I had a real bad day. I was yelling at everybody.
Good. That's a good thing. You sound great.
I even told one of the guys that night to get the hell out of there. I said, "You people aren't doing anything for me. Get the hell out of here."
Are you home now?
No, I'm still in the rehab center.
Well,
I can't go home until I could stand up by myself.
All right,
I need help. Right now, I need help to stand up. So they've been getting me up. I've been walking around. I told Carlene I walked maybe about 80, 90 yards today.
That's big.
So, So my legs are okay, but my muscles are getting real weak, from this disease that I got.
Well,
so,
listen,
like you told me, I keep trying.
You get home now. Come on now. Stop monkeying around. Get home.
I'll keep trying.
All right, we love you. We love you. Get better. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Shaun.
Thank you. Rich is talking and almost home. Verlon in Michigan.
It's good to hear from Rich, and also Chuck from Delavan sounds good too. He called in to Dan not too long ago, so he sounds good as well. Yeah, but I heard you say something about car insurance is the most affordable insurance.
No, I didn't say affordable. I didn't use the A word. I said you could make the argument is the need for existence far more than in the others.
Okay, well, I thought, I heard the wrong thing, but I was calling in to say, well, when I got to Michigan, it's horrible. They passed a law that you have to have health care insurance to get a reduced rate or any kind of discounts. They tried to charge me almost $400 for liability. Otherwise, I had to prove I had insurance. I had to get a letter from the insurance company to get a reduced rate. Dude, that is crazy. In Indiana, I pay dirt cheap for insurance because in Indiana it's business friendly, and Indiana they understand if you let businesses compete, it lowers rates. They don't understand that here or in Illinois. But before you kick me off the phone, I got another thing. It's about to be a big brouhaha in Jackson, Michigan, between the business community and the politicians. These Democrats want to put in parking meters. Dude, right now you could go downtown, park your car anywhere, walk around, enjoy the businesses. Now they want 2-hour parking meters, and the business community is trying to tell the politicians, you're going to make us lose business. Right now I could go down there, sit on the park bench, and have a ball, and then walk into any business, eat dinner, drink some beers. They're about to kill the business community in Jackson, Michigan.
Well, this is what they do. And here's the thing: somebody on Rumble was talking about me or Squirrel don't read Cranes, and the reason I don't read Cranes is they're corporatists, and the people who have been business people, they're for generations now, I'd say 100 years, have been pretending that you don't have to fight for your principles and your right to be in business. They have been pretending you can get along with corrupt governments. You cannot. The progression towards destroying the quality of your business and the reason you're in business and delivering feudalism is here. It's here right now. So if the business community allows this to happen and doesn't put up a successful fight, well, then they should sell or get the hell out of there. That's just the beginning. And that's nothing, Verlon, to where it should go. Just tell them about Chicago. You want to know how not to run a city? Chicago is the greatest example. And everything they do is why you should stay out of it. And getting back to something of your car insurance, I'm going to tell you, when you are in a sanctuary area, when Democrats are in charge, the reason car insurance companies are sticklers or drive up the cost is because of the actual cost of having illegal aliens pretend to be Americans and giving them licenses.
82 truck drivers have been detained in Alabama on ICE hold since late October. It is part of a new state crackdown on commercial drivers. Governor Kay Ivey says 12 of those detained did not have a license of any kind.
Thousands of illegal aliens are driving the car in sanctuary areas. Thousands and thousands right now. We have death and mayhem on the streets of all the sanctuary areas. And in there lies up, why should an insurance company take the liability of moron politicians allowing people who do not know how to drive, read, or speak the language drive a car and pretend what? Are they going to pay insurance? They don't pay for anything. So that's why sanctuary areas are more expensive in everything, Verlon. You made a mistake, kid. You moved to Michigan. What are you, nuts?
Well, I saw the trend. It's trending back red. People are just like I tell people when I talk on the radio station down there. It is trending back red. We're about to take the House, and we can take the governorship down here.
I had a wonderful politician who I love to death come on the show, and she won. And I hope you're right. But you, my friend, are what's called in my neighborhood as a gambler. You like the action. Go ahead, roll the dice. Good luck. I hope you're right. Otherwise, you're going to get a tab. Greg in LaGrange.
How you doing, Shaun?
Good, brother. How are you?
Couple things. Great. Considering. A couple things about the Shaun interview. Well, I live in Illinois, right? So the thing is with the Scott Shelley thing is the other thing that I think impacts the farmers too is after they get driven into the dirt, corporations and corporatists and big government corporations come in and they basically take over their lands, and then that's a big problem too. It goes away from the entrepreneur and the true businessman to some social government quasi corporate type of entity.
I should have had you on when I was talking to Shelley. And the reason is, how much of this $12 billion will end up in the coffers of Monsanto or ADM or these other conglomerates that have bastardized the system, have corrupted the intended benefits for farmers and stolen them into corporatism? You know, you're exactly right. So there are no angels among men. And when you look at the agricultural department, you could say that that's arguably in the top 5 of the most corrupt. So these are great questions.
A couple other things. I think the one thing that the Trump administration do is try to make it easier for people that aren't in the game of equities and don't have a lot of equities and don't have skin in the game to lower their tax rates. Get the personal tax rate lower for them. Make it easier for them.
100%.
Or if they have more money in their pocket, they'll feel better about themselves. Then you can work on whether or not they can build some kind of work history and build a relationship with an employer where they're confident in continuing on.
There are three things and 3 things only that Trump should be working on. 3 things and 3 things only that he should be working on. The ripping out by the root of Obamacare. The ripping out all of the complexities and the overall point of a progressive tax. Rip it out. How dare you charge people different tax rates because they're good at something, and destroy the idea and privatize your retirement by giving options to not participate in Social Security. Those 3 things and those 3 things only. But here's our problem. We're all cultivated. We're all ready. You're going to go into a 2026. Oh, it's an election year. Just do the fracking job and do it right now. I don't want to hear about November. Don't say November. Do your fracking job. There is no tomorrow, Rock. Thanks for the call. 312-642-5600.
He's Shaun Thompson.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
And this is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join Medi-Share and save even more than usual. For many families, joining Medi-Share means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. More than 1 million people are part of healthcare sharing now because it just makes so much sense right now. And Medi-Share is the gold standard. Members like it a lot. We know this from member surveys. Medi-Share has been around for over 30 years. It is a proven thing. And if you join before December 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save $100 right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline's December 15th. Call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. It's 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
This is Shaun Thompson here to tell you about an opportunity for you to promote your business and make a difference this Christmas season. I'm talking about our Food for the Poor Business Benefactor Program. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide life-saving food and water for thousands of children and their families over the years. Your business can be a part of this effort. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. That donation will help more than 30 kids for the entire year. And when you do that, AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air right here, Monday through Friday, from 5 in the morning till 8 in the evening, prime time. And all you have to do to take advantage of this deal is call one of the best guys there is at the company, John Gallagher. You can reach him at 847-472-8950. Once again, that's 847-472-8950. 847-472-8950, or go to 560theanswer.com/food for the poor.
Hey, you want to give the gift they'll actually use this holiday? Peace of mind? Give the people in your life something that will protect them. Go to BYRNA.com today. They are the world leader in less lethal personal defense. It's compact, it's concealable, it's powerful. The newest burner compact fits in a pocket, a purse, while delivering real stopping power for up to 60 feet away. I carry one every day. I recommend every family have a burner, every person have one. Now, it fires potent, kinetic, and aerosol rounds that can stop any attacker in their tracks for up to 40 minutes. It's legal in all 50 states. You don't need a background check. It ships right to your door. Burner gives both the gift giver and the recipient peace of mind, not just for the holidays, but all year round and for many years to come. Protect your loved ones. Safety is priceless. Visit byrna.com today and find the right launcher for you and your family. That's byrna.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
I can't wait for my personal robot squirrel. Female robot. I don't like the name Optimus. I'm going to have to call it Olivia. Maybe Svetlana. Ooh, there we go. Give it a Melania Trump accent. I think I'm onto something here. We'll sell a lot of those things. Clean the house, everything. I like it a lot. Craig and Mount Greenwood, time for the Gospels, according to Craig.
Hey, Shaun, thanks for taking my call. This is really important because around this time, everybody celebrates Christmas, and the Bible illuminates a very serious dichotomy with regard to what we're celebrating. For those leftist rats and people that reject God and reject his son, Jesus Christ, in it, they're celebrating the birth of the judge that's going to condemn them to hell. Now, the rest of us who've taken believe in God and we receive God's provision and gift of grace and righteousness by the shed blood of his son, Jesus Christ, we're celebrating the birth of our Savior. So we got it made. We got the gift of salvation. And the leftists and the God-rejecting people, they're on their way to hell, and they're celebrating the birth of the one that's going to send them there.
Amen. I love it. I think it's a segment that works for. What do you think? Before I let you go on that note, speaking of another religion, there's been a little update in the predictions of poppycock. The sky is falling in the cult of climate change.
Nature is retracting a 2024 study predicting catastrophic economic toll of climate change. Several banks used the report to make risk management plans. Too bad they didn't hear from this take by billionaire businessman Daniel Pena back in 2017.
The best scenario vis-a-vis global warming is about 10 feet raising water. That means the southern part of the United States is gone. England is gone. Most of Europe is gone. Let's just take Florida, for example, which is one of the fastest growing beachfront condominiums on the planet. Not one single investment prospectus written since 2000, this century, has alluded to global warming. Not one.
But a lot of money's been misappropriated and stolen. So here's some more good news for you.
Yeah, it's no exaggeration to say that everyone in Brussels is talking about this scandal. It involves two major EU institutions, the European Commission behind me and the European External Action Service next door, and a university that many people here went to, the College of Europe in Bruges. It trains people who are looking to enter into the EU civil service. Now, yesterday at dawn, we had these dawn raids at the EAS, the homes of private individuals, and the College of Europe in Bruges, and Federica Mogherini, the former chief foreign policy person for the European Union, was taken into custody along with two.
The money that's been stolen, the Ukrainian nonsense, the climate change in Europe, the American tax dollars, they'll take a little heat off the Somalian thieves. We'll be back in 21 hours to make sure the heat's always on. We'll be back tomorrow.
The Christmas season is the most wonderful time of the year. But for Chicago,